Thank you very much for staying tuned, and thank you very much for choosing us from Monday through till today. We have been here making sure that we give you what you need every single morning when you turn on your TV set. And today, we're not going to do anything too different from how we've been serving you. We're going to make sure that it is worth your while. And as you've tuned into GHOne television, you're not going to regret it. My name is Lantam Papanko. And on this nice Friday morning from now till 10 a.m., we're here with you to give you nothing but the absolute best. And do be reminded that we're streaming on Facebook, and so you can join us on our Facebook live stream. We're also streaming on YouTube. You can join us on our YouTube live stream. Of course, connect with us across all of these social media platforms. And let's get interactive all throughout the show. And the handle to look for is GHOne TV across all of these social media platforms. And we're good to go. Let's begin the show by looking at our quote of the day this morning. And our quote is one by John D. Rockefeller. And John D. Rockefeller says, "To give up the good, don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great." Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. Now that is very profound. Sometimes we are in our comfort zone, and because we stay in our comfort zone and things seem nice, things seem okay, we know that there is more out there. We know that there is more that we can do. We know that there is better out there, but we are too comfortable where we are, and we are afraid that whatever good little thing that we've got going on could be jeopardized. And so we don't want to step out of that comfort zone and do something which is going to be great. But John D. Rockefeller, by this quote, is saying that do not be afraid to give up the good. Don't be afraid to give up the good in order to go for the great. Don't be afraid. Now, that's something profound for you to be thinking about all throughout the day and all throughout the weekend. And it's something that you should work with. Get out of your comfort zone and go for the best that you can get. Right from our quote, we take a look at our word of the day. It's a Friday, and so what we love to do is give you a recap of all the words that we've been bringing to you from Monday right through till Thursday.
Here is a recap of the words we brought you this week. On Monday, we brought you so poor. On Tuesday, we brought you finagle. On Wednesday, we brought you corny. And on Thursday, we brought you blasé.
So a few words there for you to add to your vocabulary as you're speaking English every day. Of course, the official language in Ghana is English, and so you will do well to improve your English speaking by incorporating these words within various contexts that you construct sentences and make your English a bit richer, right? That's the purpose of the word of the day that we bring to you every morning here on GH Today. A lot has been going on in the country. It's been quite the eventful week, right? We've been talking about the fact that potentially senior high school students were fed with expired rice. The FDA have come to say they tested the rice and they realized that it was wholesome for consumption, and so there is no need to worry, but questions are being raised. We've also got a situation where the NDC believes that a certain appointment that has been made or a certain promotion that has been given to a military person within the Ghana Armed Forces is deliberate, and it is an orchestration for rigging or an orchestration of rigging elections. Then we have the MPP also saying, the NDC also have their own plans to rig elections, accusations and counter accusations. In all of this, there is a military man who has been saying that, well, they will be where they are on election day. If they are called in and anybody is misbehaving, they will beat you. You'll be beaten these elections if you misbehave. And he's called with his troops and they come in to come and restore order. They will beat you. They won't even ask you any questions. Obey before you complain. And people are asking, is that a posture that you should be adopting going into these elections? You know, it's interesting because the military will always speak like this. Per their training, they don't condone certain things. They are trained to kill. They are combatants. They are trained to kill. They are trained to shoot. They are trained to neutralize. They are not like the Ghana Police Service, which is a service and they've been trained, bearing in mind that they are in a civilian dispensation, in a civilian environment, and they would have to use de-escalation methods and other things that a service is required to do. Unless push comes to shove, then they are required to use minimal force or a level of force that is appropriate to deal with the situation. The police service are oriented that way, but the military are not. The military are trained in order to be able to neutralize their opponents. External aggression, they are supposed to protect us from that. That's what the military are there for. That is why anytime the military is called in to deal with a situation that the police are unable to deal with, we see certain things happen. Because per their training, they are not supposed to handle you with kids' gloves. So it shouldn't be too surprising that the military officer is saying that when we get there, we'll beat you. Because that is their mindset. They are beating you. But should we be condoning this? Should we even be thinking about using the military on election day? And even if we are going to use the military on election day, is that the kind of mindset and orientation that the military should be coming into the election space with? These are questions that people are asking. And so we'll be talking about all of these things here on the show this morning. Very soon we'll activate the phone lines. And because it's a Friday, we'll hear what you've got to say on the Inside Out segment with regard to all of these issues that we're discussing this morning here on the show. But for now, let's look at our video of the day for this morning. And this one is it's a very nice one from the camp of Sarkodie. On Inside Out today, you know how we do it on Fridays. We activate the phone line so that you can call us and let us know what is on your mind and speak about all the issues that have been happening throughout this entire weekend. A few things to note and talk about when you call. First of all, we've got the NDC organizing a press conference and saying that an individual who has been elevated into a high position within the military has been put there in order to help the MPP to rig the elections in the Ashanti region and its environs, because this individual was involved in the Awaso West GHOne clashes. In fact, he's the one who sent in those individuals or those operatives, national security operatives and others, to Awaso West GHOne to go and cause mayhem, shoot people, maim people. There were members of parliament, or a member of parliament was slapped, among other things. We saw this army general now sit before a commission of inquiry, the Justice Emil Short Commission, owning up to sending those men there to do whatever they went to go and do over there. Later on, there were recommendations by the Justice Emil Short Commission for this individual to be reprimanded. That never happened because the government issued a white paper, and in the government's white paper, they disagreed with the Justice Emil Short Commission on that recommendation. Fast forward to 2 weeks to elections, and this man has been elevated to a high office within the military, a central command. And the NDC are uncomfortable with it. They claim that he's got ammunition and guns and what have you stockpiled in his house, and he's going to be used to foment trouble. And so they are serving notice that they are not going to allow that to happen. In all of this, it is an accusation that the NPP and the government want to rig the upcoming elections. That's the claim of the NDC. Then we have the NPP also organizing a press conference led by their national organizer, saying that the NDC is training thugs in the stronghold of the NPP in various areas so that they will use those thugs and people they have trained to foment trouble and also rig the elections. And then I'm asking myself, we've got 14 days from today to the elections, right? 14 days to election 2024, 15 days if you like, to election 2024, 7th December. And the campaign is getting heated up, and the parties who have the potential to win are very aggressive. And so they want to say and do all manner of things to give them a certain edge. I particularly don't think that it helps anybody if you come and stand there and begin to accuse people of trying to rig elections without any evidence. I mean, so far, the NDC has not provided any concrete evidence that this army general, army officer, is going to help the NPP to rig the elections. They've not really been able to provide any concrete evidence to that effect. The only linkage is that he was found guilty by the Emil Short Commission, and because of that, he's not fit to be in that role. And that must be the linkage that he will be used to foment trouble. Aside from that linkage that they've made, they've really not provided any concrete evidence to show that that is a plan that the NPP wants to use to rig the elections. Then we have the NPP. The NPP hasn't really shown any evidence. Where are the people being trained? Where are the people being recruited? What is the evidence to that effect? The NPP also have absolutely no evidence. No evidence to show that the NDC is also recruiting people in their strongholds to rig the elections. Why are political parties doing these things? All because elections are coming and they want to win elections. And so they want to use any means and every means and say anything that they want to win elections. And it comes back to some of the things that I've been talking about here on the show this past week. That, see, this election that you are going in to go and vote, make sure that it is not the everyday rhetoric that these political parties are putting out there that is going to influence you to vote. You need to think critically about what these parties actually have got to offer and the caliber of people within these political parties who are going to be at the helm of affairs. Imagine it and think about it critically. John Dramani Mahama as president of the Republic of Ghana. Just imagine it. Picture it. Who are the people around him? Who is he coming with? He's coming with Nana James. Who are the people within the NDC who are going to pick up leadership positions? Definitely. How are they going to work? What is their character? What is their integrity? What is their track record? What are the policy proposals that they are putting forth? Is Ghana going to be better under John Dramani Mahama Nana Jane, and all of these other individuals who are with him? Think about it and critically make your choice. Think about Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's vice president now. Think about him as president. The people around him that he's going to rule, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as vice president. Think about it. And all the other people within the MPP who will be picking up leadership positions. Some of them are already in leadership positions now. Think about it critically. Is that what you want? What are your policy proposals? What are your policy formulations? The things that they are saying they are going to do for you. Is it possible for them to do it? Like Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is saying, it is possible. And John Dramani Mahama is also saying, let us reset Ghana. And all. Think about it critically. And don't let some of these things sidetrack you. Don't let these things sidetrack you. Then we've also got an instance where the Food and Drugs Authority apparently went and caught a company called Lamens repackaging and rebagging rice which had gone beyond its best before dates. The NDC arrested these individuals, fined the company 100,000 Ghana cedis for rebagging and repackaging rice which is expired or has gone beyond its best before date for onward distribution to senior high schools, for the senior high schools to distribute to their various dining halls for the students to eat. And it has caused a stir. A lot of questions arise. If you know the rice is wholesome, why do you have to rebag it? Why do you have to extend the dates? Now the FDA has come to tell us that after they chanced on Lamens doing what they were doing and they fined them, they tested the rice and they found out that, the rice is wholesome for consumption. And so they extended their best before dates to April. While Lamens was requesting for it to be extended to December, they extended it to April and it's been sent to the schools and it's okay. And the question I've been asking is, if these FD officials themselves are going to buy rice and they see a best before, and they themselves, somebody tells them that, it has been tested, so even though the best before is today, you can eat it tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, will they eat it? These are questions that we need to ask. So the expired rice issue is also there, coupled with a host of other things. Let me go straight to the phone lines right now. We'll put the number at the bottom of the screen so that you can call us and let us know what your thoughts are on these issues that we are touching on this morning here on GH Today. Let us know your thoughts. What is on your mind this morning as far as these issues are concerned? Give us a call and let's hear what you've got to say this morning here on GH Today. I believe my first caller is on the line. Hello, caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Lantam.
Thank you very much for calling us. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
You're welcome. My name is Salif Awal calling from Bimbila.
All right, Salifu, talk to us.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I don't think I'll waste much time on what the two political parties have presented as a way of either one is planning to rig the election or not. But all I want to speak about is our livelihood, our condition of the condition under which Ghanaians are living presently. Prior to the 2016 election, the NPP government sold hope to Ghanaians, and led by Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and Ghanaians really bought into it. That culminated in today getting over 53%, percent votes during the 2016 election. Fast forward, I think we've realized that Ghanaians have sold their color TV for black and white. Why do I say so? When you look at the various economic indices, with regards to even the food we buy in the market, the price of food in the various markets, we talk about price of petroleum products, we talk about our debt to GDP, our debt stuff, and what have you, you get to know that the NPP government have moved Ghana from bad to worse. In as much as we agree that really there are a lot of things happen under the Mahama administration. We talk about corruption. Corruption has gone from bad to worse. Now Ghanaians are not even prepared about corruption. They know that now corruption cannot be fought under Nanado. Because Nanado, even when the former Auditor General, Yadomelevu, was appointed and he started investigating some of the things that has to do with Kroll and Associates. What did Nanado do? Immediately he sacked him. That is the first call that Nanado was not serious about anything that has to do with corruption. Look at our water bodies. What we're gone from bad to worse. So all I'm saying is that Ghanaians have been shortchanged, and Ghana has gone from bad to worse under the NPP government.
Okay.
I think the savior will be John Dramani Mahama, who will take Ghana to the promised land. So Ghanaians should give John Dramani Mahama the opportunity again to serve us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you also for your call to us here on the show today. And thanks for having your say. You can also call us. Let's have a conversation this morning here on the show. Call the number that you will see at the bottom of the screen. Oh, the number has been taken off. No, they'll put the number back up so you can call us. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
I'm Sergio Baba. I'm calling from Bolga.
All right. All the way from Bolga. Talk to us.
Good morning to you and good morning to your terrorist viewers listening. In fact, you brought an issue about this military. They are trying to use to supervise the elections and all that. And I think the first caller has debated and he was talking about economic indicators. I think that is the 1992 kind of politics he is doing today. I can hear Mahama always say cement was sold at 25 cities, now 100 cities. But he will never tell us how much it was sold in 2009 when it was 5 cities. It multiplied by 5 folds. So if it was even 25 cities, 100 cities, that is 4 folds. Kenke was sold at 2 cities, it is now 7 cities or 5 cities. You know, Kenke was 20 pesos, 30 pesos, and the Kufuor. That is not the politics we are playing. We are looking at the policies each and every government is bringing. The NPP government came in 2007. And we saw how the economic indicators were pointing out from 2007 to even 2020, before COVID strike and then this a global crisis. There's no country that is not complaining of economic difficulties. So if you think that, you are going to use that one to convince people to vote for you, Jamama is never an alternative. But he has been president for 4 years and vice president for 4 years. We saw his performance. This man came. So if somebody always stand there and said, Ghanaians suffer for 8 years, I don't know why Ghanaians are fools. How can they suffer for 8 years? The 4 years mandate was given to Akufo-Addo, and then he showed a clear leadership, and they said, he did very well, and they gave him another 4 years. So within the 4 years, if there is global crisis everywhere due to the pandemic and this Russia-Ukraine, and NDC never want to listen to that and thinking they'll use that one to score their political point, I think Ghanaians are even wiser than they think they are. But I don't know why some people think that military, everybody will fear the military more than the police. And if they are saying the military are going to rig the election for MPP, does the military, do they belong to MPP? I don't think that is the case. Military are military, and those who are even going to use this military, are the MPP members that are going to deploy the military to go and then do the bidding of MPP?
Right.
At least we should be preaching peace and then see how the country can move forward.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your call to us here on the show today from Bolga. You can also come through with yours. Let's hear from you. Let's talk to our next caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling us. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
Sir, please, I'm Thompson. I'm calling from Asankregwa.
Oh, great to have you from Asankregwa. Talk to us.
Yes, sir. Let's focus on the subject matter. The FDA people, what are they doing in Ghana here? FDA people, just imagine, are they doing the right thing that they're supposed to do? FDA, I don't know what they want to say. They should call the spade a spade. What are they doing? That thing is not good. They should declare. They should say it is good. What are they saying? I don't understand. I can't think far. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, and thank you for your call. You can't think far. The FDA will later on test and say that the rice is wholesome for consumption. Well, hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay. My name is Razak.
Razak, where are you calling us from?
Razak. It's from Medina.
All right, Razak, talk to us.
You're Muslim. But you're going for no. MPP. MPP. About 4 times. But the Akufo but then the vehicle, about to meet Akufo-Addo, any bomb. Nyasa krono na mo de bo man omba mo kanya sansempa akoya atwem to me bo man no amere nyira anya ho faso one disease one party weni nti o mo ti free agents nso o ma anya papa nso mama ye ma nyina bo na o mo di nyi sanyi na be hwie Oma gugu ya juma maye. Madam gugu o Medina. Egu na juma 2021. Isi ani iri ni manyi na oma janu because of the juma say. Oh, we free this. Our documents or the PR language for them documents man. And or the any business. Bombe gu na juma. Person na me nkatai. Or transfer no di. Oh, the MC Medina. And adenta po the over in Siaka or Yadira. But the dear say omunye. And now moon and go for contain and go for shop no moon sector. Into Mudi Nasakonu and then show mine. Bomia, Omunia ban and Omunia China. Ombe report or can say, you're here and go for me, you know, Muka say, and Yadi Papa. Omumbe Papa no.
All right. Please, let's not go there. It's okay. No cases. Please, I beg you, no cases. Thank you. Thank you for your call from Medina. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for calling us. What's your name? Where are you calling us from?
My name is Mustafa, calling from GHOne, sir.
All right, Mustafa, talk to us.
Okay. Please, hello. There's something going on that we don't like politicians. You understand? At times, there are a lot of work that is supposed to continue, but they don't do it in order for us, the indigenous, to also feel relieved more. Because all the time, mostly on this road, especially, I live in Zenu. When you look at this road stretch, all the time, accidents happen. Just due to some of these drivers swerving potholes. You know all these things is your duty to do, but you will never do it. You want us to cry before you can come and do it for us. So at times we don't understand them. We don't understand them. And what do they want us to do? Do they want us to insult them before they know what to do, or what do they want us to do? That is what we don't want to do. Because if they respect themselves, we also respect ourselves. So that's my policy.
All right.
They should do what they're supposed to do. For us to also feel we live in this our own country, our motherland. This is not our fatherland. All of us are our motherland.
Right.
So what they are doing, we are not happy with it at all.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for your call to us here on the show today. I think we have time to pick a couple more calls, and then we'll round up the Inside Out segment. Hello, good morning.
Thank you very much for your call.
Hello.
Yeah. We have time.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, and turn down the volume on your TV set or turn it off completely for us so that we can have a clear line to you.
I'm calling from Madina.
All right, but we can hear the TV in the background, so if you can kindly turn down the volume and let's talk. Right. So yeah, your name again?
My name is Richard.
Richard. All right, Richard calling from?
From Medina.
All right, also in Medina. Richard, talk to us.
I'm so sorry. I wanted to know this FG. I'm so shocked and surprised that they will come out with this statement. So the rest is it good for consumption? Are they aware, or is just propaganda? And who is there to change these things? Is it the responsibility of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to deal with this situation? Because I think the human beings are going to consume this food. Our sisters, our brothers. So are we okay to accept their claim? Director, are we okay? So nothing can be done about it.
Well, the Government Assurances Committee, led by Okujeto Ablakwa, who is the chairman of that committee, has said this is something they are going to look into. And so we'll wait and see. But thank you for your call to us here on the show today. This will do it for the phone-in segment on Inside Out, and effectively do it for Inside Out. When we return, Mutala Inusa is in the studio with Court Today. Mutala Inusa is here in the studio. Captain, good morning.
Good morning, Lantam.
How is the Friday looking for you?
It's good to see Friday, you know. When you see Friday,
I know you like Friday, so I don't really understand the reason why you like Friday like that. I don't know what Friday has done for you, but you like Fridays.
Yes, I love Fridays, okay. Yes.
It's fine.
So, I know you also love Fridays, but you wouldn't say it.
Oh, I've not said I don't like Fridays.
So we both love it.
No, I've not said I don't like. Everybody likes weekend.
Yeah, you see that. And weekend start from Friday. Yes, for some people. For some people. Why are you exempted if you are not?
Oh, but we are here. We are at work. Weekend. We are supposed to be at home relaxing or engaging in other activities.
The reason I love Fridays is it is the only day after work that you can relax more because you don't have
you know that the next day you don't have to go to work.
But Saturday, a lot of responsibility activities and all that. So that's why it's not even part of the weekend. So the whole weekend that you have is Friday after work.
Interesting. Okay. It's time for courts today.
Yes.
All right, Mutala, so let's get into the details, especially with cases that came up in the courts yesterday. We talked about the J.B. Danko Edu murder case, right, where Daniel Asiedu is facing a jury verdict. We know that he's been cross-examined, and we've been waiting for a long time so that we can see finality brought to this matter. Is there an end in sight now?
Absolutely. There's a fixed date for that to happen.
Right.
Yes. Yesterday, like I told you, state prosecutors led by Mrs. Sefako Bache concluded, in fact, she's a principal state attorney on the office of the Attorney General, concluded the prosecution's cross-examination of Daniel Asiedu, popularly known as Sexy Don Don or Gucci Young Star. Yesterday, when he appeared before the court, the concluding part of prosecution's cross-examination was to put to him virtually, I put it to you, I put it to you, I put it to you. And I put it to you that you were in the home of J.B. Danko Edu. I put it to you that you were in possession after stabbing and killing him. You robbed him of his mobile phones and all that. But Daniel Asiedu effectively denied all those moments and said, in fact, prosecution also put to him that, look, exhibits retrieved from the crime scene shows 100% of your DNA. He said that no, the police took him there, made him stage, gave him some of the things to hold, and the reason that he could agree that it returned 100% of his DNA was that at the time that he was hit on the head, blood was still flowing. So at some point in time, he will use the hand to touch the head where the blood is coming from. So when he had contact with those exhibits, it is possible that it will have his DNA. So he has been, in fact, denying all those moments.
Right.
And the issue of he's saying that it was Dan Parade that gave him the name Sexy Don Don. Prosecution flatly denied and it was put to him. He said, no, my name is Gucci Young Star. And so that is it. December 4, 2024, Justice Lydia Osema has fixed the date for the lawyers and the prosecution to address the jury orally by way of summary. The court will do a summing up, then they will retire. The jury will retire to come out with their verdict, and their verdict is binding on the court. But lawyer Yao Dankwa, who is counsel for Daniel Asiedu, has been speaking. Counsel, are you satisfied with the defense that your client has put? Let's hear what he has to say.
I'm glad that the long-awaited trial has now finally come to an end, and it gives some peace to my client. We are very confident of our case. I will believe that the jury do their job, peruse through the evidence that is available to them, and take into consideration the testimonies and all the other submissions that we will make. And I'm pretty sure that they will arrive at a decision. But I'm very confident of what we have done so far. As much as you try to do your job as a lawyer and as a professional, you cannot shy away from these influences and these distractions that comes along with this politics. And with the politicians, they just want votes. So whatever they say, they don't really care whether it will help you or not. But we've tried to maintain focus. We've tried to remain very focused, and I've tried very hard to.
That is lawyer Yaudankwa for Daniel Essie. So on the 4th of December, this matter will come to rest. After 8 years, the incident happened on the 4th of December. February 8th, 2016. And we are in 2024.
Yes. All right. So we'll see some finality brought to this on the 4th of December. We're looking forward to it. Yesterday, NAM1 was in court.
Yes.
With the men's gold case.
Yes. The case was called. I told you that NAM1 is seeking the stay of proceedings to appeal against the order to open its defense. And that motion is yet to be moved. Yesterday, when the case was called before Justice N.S. Owusu-Dapah, lawyers of NAM1 indicated that they have filed a supplementary statement of affidavit to support their motion, which the team of the prosecution, in fact, Watkins Adama, was there. He said that he's not received it, even though he doesn't deny the fact that it could have been filed. But they said that they have not received that. So in order to make sure that they have a view of what counsel for NAM1 has filed, the case has been adjourned to the 27th. And yesterday, we were told that NAM1 on his way to court had an emergency. So physically, he was not present in court. Initially, he was on his way, but had an emergency, so he has to go. So yesterday, when the case was called and dealt with and was adjourned, he was not physically present, but his lawyers were present. Men's good customers, as usual, were also heavily represented. So this case will come up on the 27th of November, 2024.
All right, and with the Saglemi housing case involving Alhaji Collins Dauda and co, what's been happening in that case as well? It was in court yesterday?
Yes, yesterday was in court. Prosecution called their third witness, somebody from the Bank of Ghana, Madame Lucy Tete Akwete. And she tells the court that, look, if you look at all the situations that has happened at all material time, she was with the Financial Market Department of the Bank of Ghana, and she told the court that she was the project officer responsible for the Saglemi housing unit. And yesterday, she was in court to testify. But interestingly, she tells the court that she's on retirement, and she's coming to court to testify as an officer from the Bank of Ghana. And her witness statement was filed when she was still at post. So the defense lawyers raised and view in what capacity will she be testifying? If we ask her questions of present situation at Bank of Ghana, is she in the position to answer? Then the parties begin to argue forth and back. In fact, it was off record. At the end, prosecution indicated that they would need time to consult and come back, talk to the Bank of Ghana to be able to put their house in order for the case to resume. So yesterday, the matter has been adjourned to the 26th of November, even though the witness was present. Because yesterday, Alhaji Collins Dada was not present in court because we're told that he's not well, and the lawyer submitted an excuse duty from his doctors to the court. The other accused persons were present in court yesterday.
All right. So we understand that there's a case involving someone forging a will.
We've been telling you about this case for some time now. A lawyer is involved, a chief is involved, and then siblings. And we told you that sometime earlier in October, the prosecution filed an amended charge sheet to drop charges against the siblings, which the complainant in the matter was not happy with that, petitioned the Office of the Attorney General in relation to this very case. And let me tell you, the accused persons involved are Joseph Cole Adosam, ex-squire, he's a lawyer involved. The chief of Banda, Alhaji Seidu Adams Baba, is also involved. Seidu Salia is the third accused person. And then there is Abdullahi Salia, we are told that alias Abdullahi Salia Jr., he's on the run, and Abubakar Salia also on the run. So what he did was that he filed a petition at the Office of the Attorney General, and yesterday the AG's office were at the circuit court in Achimota, presided over by Akusia Anochua Ejepon, and said that the AG is calling for the case docket for further scrutiny. in relation to what has been alleged and all that. And so the trial before the circuit court should be put on hold until such time that they are done with whatever allegation has been made by the petitioner Idris Usalia, so that the prosecution, the AG will inform the court of what to do. So yesterday, straight away, the court presided over by Akusi Anochua Ejepon had to adjourn the case to December 23, hoping that about that particular point in time, the AG's office would have seized full information about the case docket and then apprised or informed the court about what its next line of action would be. So yesterday, because of the petition filed by Idris Usalia for the AG to look into the matter, that trial has been put on hold. So that is what is happening in relation to Alhaji Salia's will, which the siblings and together with the lawyer and the chief are alleged to have forged a document, and in fact had the charges that were initially present was conspiracy, forgery, altering of official document, and perjury.
All right.
Yes. So on December 23, the day before Christmas is
25th.
25th. Okay.
So a day before Christmas Eve.
Yes.
That's 24th.
That's where the case will come out.
All right. So finally, what are some of the activities coming up today?
Yes, sad one. Today is a very sad day for those who are, in fact, for the entire country, because one of the retired justices of the Supreme Court, Justice Julius Ansan, retired. And he retired 4 years ago. He has passed on, and today he's been put to rest. He's been laid to rest at the forecourt of the State House. So Justice Julius Ansan, for those who remember him very well, the first election petition, 2012 or 2013, the 2012 presidential election that went to the Supreme Court in 2013, he was one of the justices who presided over this very, who was part of the panel that dealt with this very issue. Today, he's been laid to rest at the age of 74. He retired 4 years ago, but unfortunately, he has to say goodbye to us. So today, Justice Julius Ansan will be laid to rest. May his gentle soul rest in perfect peace.
Indeed, may his soul rest in peace, and condolences to
the family.
And Utalainu, thank you very much.
Thank you
for bringing us court today. And we want you to stay tuned. We've still got a whole lot more coming up here on GH Today that you don't want to miss. We'll be right back. Mr. Awudu Mahama is here in the studio. He is managing editor for the Custodian newspaper, of course, a regular panelist on our Friday panel discussion. Awudu, good morning to you.
Good morning, Lantam.
How are you doing today?
I'm managing. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
Yes.
Looking forward to the Friday and the weekend.
Yes.
And everything that it comes with.
Everything that it comes with. It comes with a lot of things.
Pressure.
A lot of pressure and all that.
It as well. Also in the studio is Nana Kwesi Buete. Is a private legal practitioner. Good morning, Nana.
Morning, Lantam.
You have not been adding.
You are a fashionista. We are looking today there.
Yeah, that part.
We need to investigate your house. Who is there dressing you up like that all the time?
I dress myself.
No, we here.
Yeah, I dress myself.
We here.
Yeah, I
We'll
dress myself.
investigate.
But if you want to know where the suit came from, then his name is Authentic. The Authentic Man.
Okay.
Aside that, I put together my combination myself.
I've told you I will investigate, so don't give me the access.
Who will investigate? Special prosecutor
He will do it
or
himself.
charge or police or Ioko
That's why I'll give it to Anas.
or fashion police.
You don't.
Fashion police.
All right. Ibrahim Al-Hassan is also here in the studio. Ibrahim Al-Hassan is the head of our political desk here at the EIB network, and he's our main man in Parliament as well. IB, good morning to you.
Good morning. The weekend is nigh,
Yes.
as they say.
Yes.
Yeah. And like I will always say, you don't advise anybody on Friday. Let them do all the bad things. They will learn their lessons on Monday.
You don't advise anybody on Friday.
No.
It also means that Monday you may be crying.
Yes, exactly.
You finish all your money and
Then you learn a lesson.
You learn a lesson.
And next time you don't misbehave.
Yeah, don't misbehave.
All right. So it's time for the breakfast review. We have quite a lot of issues to discuss. There is a new poll out there, a new poll from the Kumasi Technical University. A professor there, Professor Smart Sapong, in his new poll is predicting that the NPP is going to win a parliamentary majority in the upcoming December polls. And in the presidential elections, there potentially could be a runoff because nobody got 50%. Very interesting poll, which is contrary to quite a number of other polls that we have been seeing from other quarters. Also, the NDC and the NPP have been trading accusations and counter accusations against each other, accusing each other of plans to rig the elections. And it's interesting. The NPP says NDC are recruiting thugs. The NDC says the NPP wants to use a military man to foment trouble during the elections and rig the elections. And also, there is the issue of the expired rice or alleged expired rice or rice which had gone beyond its best before date, which was sent to senior high schools for them to consume. All of these issues are up for discussion this morning here on the show, and we'll do justice to them with the panel. Audu, you wanted to say something very briefly before we get into it?
A shout out to the last time I went to Tamale,
Yeah.
my correspondent had somebody knocked him with a motorbike.
Oh.
He's called Gaddafi Mohammed. And I just want to say, wish him well. Because I've not been able to, since I came, I was not around. So I've not been able to find out. So I wish him well. And the wife, Zara, they took very good care of me when I was there. So I just say that I wish Gaddafi well.
Best wishes to Gaddafi.
Gaddafi Mohammed, my Azara.
And Zara.
Yes, my Northern Regional correspondent. Yes.
We wish them well.
Yes.
And we pray that God, of course.
Yes.
I know
That's the healing.
Zara did a very fantastic TZ for Audu.
I assume you knew.
Of course I.
But he knows.
What is Tamale without TZ? But he knows.
In fact, they TZ and they leave soup.
Well,
I took it the first day, and the second day I asked her to prepare the same thing.
why do you think they get a shout out on the TV?
The TZ was actually part. So Zara, good lady. Yes.
So who feels like eating TZ now?
All of us.
All right. Let's get into the issue, shall we? So new poll from the Kumasi Technical University. Professor Smart Sapong says that the elections are going to go into a runoff, right? That is what he said. And the NPP are going to win a majority in parliament. And like I was saying, this is contrary to other polls that have come up. So, according to the poll, John Mahama of the National Democratic Congress, who is the closest contender to Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is coming in with 45.8% voter support. And Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is in the lead with 49.1%. Independent candidate Nana Kwame Bediako has 2.2%. Alan Chamanting 1.2%. Other candidates 1.7% of the predicted vote. So Professor Smart Sapong is saying that the elections could be decided in the first round, and it is clear from his reports that the elections can be won at the first round by only one of the two leading parties, with the NPP having a higher chance of clinching a first round victory. This is during a press briefing that he made the statement. So the survey highlights distinct regional voting patterns shaping the race. The NPP stronghold regions, which is the Ashanti region, the Bono region, the Eastern region, along with the Hafo Central, North, East, and Western regions, are all propelling Dr. Bawumia's lead. Mr. Mahama draws significant support from Greater Accra, Volta, Northern region, as well as Bono East, Upper West, Oti, Savannah, and Western North. And the data shows a stark division in regional preferences, underscoring the critical importance of voter mobilization in the next 2 weeks. That's according to Professor Smart Sapong. Out of 276 constituencies, 128 are considered safe for the NPP, compared to 92 which are considered safe for the NDC. The remaining 56 constituencies may remain highly competitive, with the two parties poised to split the difference. He's also predicting that there's going to be a voter turnout of 81%. There's going to be a voter turnout of 81%. So this is the survey from Professor Smart Sapong. I'll begin with you on this.
I told you, Ralph, began with Nana.
No, I want to begin with you on this.
No problem.
I would like
this is the poll.
Yes, Nana is my man. You should have started
the new
with
poll.
him. Yes.
This is contrary to all the other polls from all the other quarters that we have been seeing, which has been putting President John Mahama in the lead.
Okay, let me say good morning once again to our cherished viewers. I must say that the last time we spoke about polls, I actually said that the actual polls are normally done on the election day. It is when people vote and you see your smoothness level. That's where you know whether you have won elections or you have lost. That's the actual poll. You do polls, and sometimes, depending on the turnout of your people, your members, you either win or you lose. So polls are actually projections that if you do A, B, C, D, this is what you get. If you don't do those A, B, C things, you will lose. And that's basically what polls do. If polls say you are winning the elections and go and sleep, you will lose miserably. Even on election day, you have to make sure that your people turn out to vote, your supporters turn out to vote. Even the so-called floating voters, you have to encourage them to go out and vote for you. So that's one. These things will ensure that whether you are winning or you are losing. Having said that, you mentioned polls. And as a student I am a student of research myself, and I know what to distinguish between a credible poll and tabletop polls. I have been engaged in electoral this thing before many years with a company, and we used to get it very right, probably until recently. Those of you who know where I worked with the Venerable Benefsin. We used to have a polling company called GHOne. That was a branch of Daily Dispatch. And I taught the whole country to collect data. And those days, everybody knew the credibility of Ben Epson when in the previous elections, when he was an authority. So I know how to collect data, how to analyze it, and I know what to look between credible survey and what is a tabletop survey. And I think that Professor Sapon, he has a track record of polling. Everybody who knows is this thing. First of all, let me try and look at his credentials before I start.
Well, he's a professor at the Kumasi Technical University.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's
a professor, but
at the Kumasi Technical University.
But a professor in a particular area.
Yeah. He's an associate professor for the Center for.
Yes. Let me just look at. I want to look at his background. You need to look at his background. Who the person is. He has PhD in mathematical statistics. MPhil in applied mathematics, statistics option. He had BSc mathematics and statistics, University of Cape Coast. In fact, the first one PhD in mathematical statistics, and then MPhil in applied mathematics, statistics option from KNUST. And he had BSc mathematics, statistics, University of Cape Coast. And then the Department of Mathematical Sciences, the head of Department of Mathematics, blah, 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 and all that. And currently is a Research and Innovation Department. He's a head.
Yes.
Now, that is his record.
So he's a professional statistician.
Yes. And he's a methodologist. Yeah. And he's somebody who is not afraid to subject himself to scrutiny when he does polling or survey. The last time I remember when he did it in 2020, he did it almost the same time to elections, 2020. He said that President Akufo-Addo NPP was going to get 21.4%, 51.4%. President Akufo-Addo ended up getting 51.2%. He has done NPP internal elections and all that, and we all know he's never failed. But as I said, polling is just a guide to political parties. They are not ends by themselves, on themselves. It will guide political parties. You also spoke about other polling.
Yeah, there are other polls, yes.
Other polls that I have known is Musa Dankwa.
Yeah, Global Info Analytics.
Global Info Analytics, yes. And then Fitch.
Yes, Fitch.
And then Fitch copiously actually quoted Musa Dankwa. If you look at Fitch, and normally Fitch and other people, they don't do the kind of polling that we say face-to-face, one-on-one interaction with electorate. They don't do that. They do extrapolation. They look at economy. They look at so many variables, and then they project. That's what they do. But if you look at Fitch's survey, they actually quoted Musa Dankwa. So I cannot speak about Musa Dankwa's polls. I cannot. If any person can speak to that, I have spoken to what I know about Professor Smart Sapo.
But I can't speak to Musa Dankwa's polls.
No, because I don't know his record in polling.
But you just googled Smart Sapo.
Why don't you Google him? But Musa Dankwa has had quite a number of polls conducted.
Yes.
That have actually
which ones
come to pass.
Which ones?
The internal elections of the MPP.
He said Alan was going to win.
Of the NDC and
he said Alan was going to win the presidential promise. Alan ended up even pulling out of MPP.
Alan pulled out.
He said, which one again? Which one?
He talked about, I think he did Asin North too.
Yeah.
Asin North? Asin North, do you know where he said Asin North? It came to a time, he even gave it to MPP at one point. Check. You Google and see.
There was a margin of error. He had mentioned, and for Asin North, I think he got it right. Even
he didn't.
No, I remember clearly because there was even back and forth between him and Miratos Abwaje, right? And then eventually,
no. If you look at his margin of error, he was hedging. Look, in research, if your margin of error, you give margin of error and give 50-50 chance to any political party and the thing counts. It is not lottery. Even though I admit that polling is not, it is not fiscal science research. So it's a social science research.
Right.
Anything can change.
Right.
I
So you
have
don't
any
trust
of you,
global
if
info
any of
analytics?
you speak to, I have spoken to Smart.
Yeah.
It's smart.
So you don't trust global info analytics poll?
In fact, I am not saying I don't trust. I say I cannot speak.
You can't speak to it.
Yes,
Okay.
if anybody trusts, anybody can speak to them.
All right.
I have spoken to listen, but I think we should move beyond this polling thing and look at what I have said, that it is not just about the polling or surveys that will win anybody elections, and I have said it consistently. It is about the work you do and the credibility of the candidates that are contesting the 2024 election. And everybody knows who I stand for, who I support. It is not a hidden thing. And I think that the candidate that I support is competent, he has integrity, he has worked so hard, and above all, destiny will prove him right in this election.
All right.
And then, why? Are we done with that?
No, I'll come back to you, but because of the time. But
Because
so let me come to
because it's about campaigning,
Yes.
it's about
So let me-
elections.
so let me come
But
back.
today I'm here to do one thing. That's why I was called to do. Come on.
what are you here to do?
You let
What
it.
are you here to do? You are here to discuss the issues.
That's what I just did.
Exactly.
And I'm here to do
Nana Kwesi Boete, let me come to you now for your thoughts on these polls.
Look, I know Smart Sapon very well. It's my friend. He's a young, very smart person. I polls these days, though, have become another political tool, and politicians buy polls as a campaign tool. So it makes it very difficult to rely on polls generally. Having said that, I do not see how, especially for the parliamentary elections, his polls will put MPP in the lead to win parliament. Because the trend hasn't proven so. In fact, from a large majority, they have shrunk to 50-50. Now it is equal in parliament. And if you look at the trend, it should be going in a direction where the NDC, more than the MPP, is heading towards the parliamentary majority. So how you all of a sudden show up with a parliamentary majority for the MPP, okay, let's see. You know, presidential, he's not able to say that Bawumia will win the election. He says, oh, he's in the lead. As though to say this election will be won in a runoff. I'll tell you this for free. This election won't be won in a runoff. It will be won in the first round. I will tell you that for free. And it will be won in the first round because Ghanaians will vote according to their lives today. Ghanaians will check how much they buy a ball of kinky, how much they buy a loaf of bread, how much they pay for electricity. This election is a real life election. When people are not going to vote based on abstracts and promises. I have said, you know, all of these promises, all of these, why? We had bigger promises like one constituency, 1 million, one district, one dam, one village, one whatever, one everything. And here we are. We always find excuses. We will go back to COVID. We will go back to Russia, Ukraine. The question you will ask yourself, and a lot of people will ask themselves that question, is whether or not they're able to feed at least twice a day, or even get a meal a day. And that is how people are going to make a decision. Look, polling is credible polling is a very expensive venture, especially for a place like Ghana. Because no matter how are you going to send people into those hinterlands in a farm place? And in all of those villages, you might be able to pull a sample decently. But the deprived people in those villages, they won't even talk to a stranger when you come and ask them about who they want to vote for. So polling in Ghana is a very difficult exercise. Except people want to use it very often for political gains. So, you know, you put something out there to create the impression that, oh, people want to vote for the person who is winning, so then let's follow. But the US has taught us better lessons. And I'm not going to be fooled by polls anymore. I am saying, without a doubt, this election will be won, and it will be won in the first round And I have no doubt that Ghanaians will make that decision based on their lifestyle. And the MPP and the government of the day has not proven itself worthy of a retention. That I can tell you.
Ivy, well, let's hear what you've got to say about this.
I'm a student of politics. And on countless occasions we've sat here and I've told you that polls have their significance. Surveys, reports, they have their significance. The political parties depend on these polls for their activities. And so if you are winning, you know that you can then put in the work to consolidate the gains, right? If the polls say you are losing, you then have to work on your weaknesses. But I'm equally a student of research. And I know that when you talk about conducting polls and you're looking at a sample size of 100,000, Professor,
that's huge.
Masafon talks about closer to 100,000.
Close to 100,000 as a sample size.
My brother, you have no idea the number of people, enumerators you need to go and gather that data. Now, he's made about 3 separate projections. The voter turnout of 81%, right? Yeah. But Greater Accra, he says, will be around 75%. So Greater Accra will not vote as much as Ashanti region will vote. I disagree. I disagree because voter turnout in Greater Accra will be as high as it will be in Ashanti region. That's one. He's made projections in Parliament. I disagree. Parliamentary majority will be won by between 10 to 15 seats. Whoever wins parliamentary majority.
Between 10 to 15 seats is what you are predicting.
Yes. And so, given how this current parliament looks, and the factors that got MPP to lose its overwhelming majority in parliament from the first term of the president, you cannot tell me that almost every challenge that resulted in that dip has been addressed. No, you cannot tell me that. In fact, let me tell you, if you've monitored our elections, after every 8-year cycle, there's a reason why the governing party loses majority in parliament. You've made so much enemies. You have not been able to satisfy so many people in your constituencies, right? There are internal wrangling relative to the one who wanted your seat. There are people who are peeved with the system, so they will go independent and they will chip something away from the vote of the governing party's candidate. So those dynamics are there and they are very current. Now, aside that, you come and you talk about a possible runoff. If there's any election in this country that nobody wants to go for a runoff, it is this one.
Yeah.
If there's any election, there's ever been any election in this country that people do not want to waste their votes on any peripherals to ensure that we get it once and for all, it is this one. So once again, I disagree that this election will head to a runoff. No, it will not. Oh no, but if you give the Vice President Baumia and MPP,
nobody's getting 49.
You read what you read.
No, I already read it.
No,
he said that
Vice
President Baumia has the potential.
But it's by inference. It's by
if you look at the figures now, there potentially could be a runoff by the
49.5. Yes,
49.1. So it's not a 50 plus 1. That is.
Yes, because if he had gone ahead to say that Baumia gets a 50 plus 1, just 50 plus 1, that would have meant that there won't be any possibility of a runoff. But if you give him 49.1, there's that possibility of a runoff. That's that. And then you come to the percentage given to John Mahama. See, there's always been a trend, and that's what Dr. Asa Asante and his team will do. So we have 2 more polls to expect, and that's for you to take notice.
So you know what they will bring?
Oh no, I'm telling you. No, I'm relating to something. Let me finish. You talk about beneficence. Beneficence polls are yet to come, right? So look forward to beneficence polls. They are yet to come out. And then Asa Asante and some University of Ghana lecturers are also doing something. What they do is they do what you can best describe as permutation and simulation based on previous data and current data. If you study the trend, you can actually formulate how the future will look like. And so if you followed every election after first term, how does the incumbent perform? How does the opposition perform? You can tell. From 1992, you can tell. Now just go to 2020. Mahama did over 47%. Smart Sapon is telling us for some strange reason that Mahama has done so much terrible things in opposition that he will go to 45%.
45%.
Come on. You get the point. You in opposition, can you do that bad? In opposition within 4 years, or at least for the first 4 years, you do so well that you actually garner 2 million more votes than what you garnered in 2016. But for some strange reason, going to 2024, you have done so badly that you lose 2% of your votes. That I will also have to ask questions. And again, there's a gentleman. He's a reporter in Kumasi, and I'll mention him. And I want Masapong to disown him because he says he was part of the enumerators. And this is what he posted yesterday. And I picked it up. And because I spoke to, I was in Kumasi, and I spoke to Muntaka Mubarak. And Muntaka had mentioned that NDC is eyeing some 3 seats. Because I asked him about, we spoke to Wuntumi, and Wuntumi had mentioned that he will not stick his neck out this time around and say he's going for 47 out of 47. But he has a strategy. And the strategy will include the 4 seats that are currently held by the NDC. Mm-hmm. Good. So I asked Muntaka about this, and Muntaka says, you should be careful. They are even thinking about taking 3 more seats. And those 3, according to Muntaka, are in
addition
the
to the 4 that the NDC already hold now.
Yes. Akwada North.
Yes. Yes. So he mentions that. And now this young guy says he was part of the people that Masapong worked with. And I'm getting what he posted here to read for you. And he talks about the fact that, and of course I can paraphrase, his name is, okay, let me get it right. So then, when Masapong is to address him, he can address him appropriately, right? And so, a minute. But of course, Muntaka, his name is Akwesi Opon. And he writes this. Professor Masapong, I can boldly tell you this is a palpable lie. And I'm reading what he wrote. This wasn't the actual result we worked for. Abba, don't forget you work with a team. Young guys you hired and contacted to do this for you. Tell the world the 3 parliamentary seats the NDC is so likely to grab in the Ashanti region. Achumampunya, Offenso North, and Ahafuano Southeast, as the actual report says. Now, the actual report for the Ashanti region also says Mahama and NDC are getting 29.4%. Baumia is getting 64.3%. Nana Kwame Bediako is getting 2.3%. Alan 2.1%. Others 1.9%. This is what Akwesi Opon is saying.
Who is one of the people who are the...
He claims he's one of the people that Masapong worked with.
That's his claim.
When we are trying to get Masapong, I want Masapong to react to it. But another caveat here is that the fact that this young guy might have worked with a certain figure doesn't mean that that's the final figure that automatically will come out. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So when a researcher contracts you to gather data, and even if the raw data has been worked on, the result he's privy to might not be the final results that Masapong is putting out there. Mm-hmm. But I will then go back to what I would have said. That the ultimate poll is the election day poll. But these things are important. See, I can't tell you that this poll that has been put out has not boosted the morale of the NPP. It has. I cannot sit here and tell you that it has not, at least, if for nothing at all, spurred the NPP on in encouraging itself that let's do more. Mm-hmm. And right, it's possible if we do more. You cannot take that away. You can also take that away from the NDC that just as NPP has always gone at Musa Dankwa and said Musa Dankwa's poll results are not credible, the NDC is equally saying same, right? The ultimate decider will be the election day. But the point must also be made that these polls are helpful. If Masapong gets it right, in the next elections, he will be the toast of everybody. If Musa Dankwa gets it right, you reinforce your credibility. And for the next elections, you will be the toast of all the politicians. And Musa Dankwa, we've engaged him on council, he tells you that even at the micro level, at the parliamentary level, we have candidates from both sides, NDC, MPP, contracting them to do polling. And the the results will be given to you for you to know your weaknesses, your strengths, and where you need to work on. It's as basic as that. Yeah. But what I think politicians must avoid is somebody who will come and sugarcoat something and tell you, and that will make you complacent, will not tell you the reality. And on election day, you can only prepare for victory, and you get there, you are disappointed. Like the IGP has told the politicians, prepare for both defeat and victory. So then your mental health is safeguarded.
All right, Audu, let me come back to you on this matter finally for the next 3 minutes.
You see,
for the next 3 minutes.
We all agree to disagree anytime we do discussions. Why do you think a national chairman of a major political party like NDC will say that MPP is in majority in parliament, so that if Mahama wins, he will find it difficult to rule? Why do you think a national chairman as experienced as Asedun Ketia will say that MPP is scheming to win majority in parliament? Why? House of Oak and Kotoko, my favorite team, are playing a team. Then the coach of House of Oak says that Kotoko is scheming to win the match. So what is House of Oak say?
Of course, everybody wants to win, so everybody is scheming and making their plans to win.
So this thing, look, I can tell you in terms of parliamentary, the two main parties know the CC are losing, they know the CC are winning. I can tell you. And this thing about people who vote based on their asitinemo, I totally agree. I have always said this. I have moved to regions. I went to Northern region recently. I moved to I went to Eastern region. I went to other regions. I have always said it, and it is not just this election, previous elections. I've said that, look, when people talk about economy, I've said this repeatedly. Your economy in Greater Accra, it is not the economy of somebody in my district, Lambusi. So, and we all know politics is local. So when you sit in Accra and think that what you are feeling in Accra is what somebody is feeling in Lambusi or Nalerugu or Gambaga or something, you will be kidding.
Mm-hmm. You'll be wrong.
You'll be wrong. So you don't use the capital town of Ghana to extrapolate that this is what is going to replicate everywhere. Because somebody will be talking about the dollar rate of the exchange rate, a dollar to CD,
or the rate of depreciation of the
rate of depreciation of the CD. I went to Northern region for almost a week. I never heard anything about dollar. I never heard anything about this depreciation of the city. What people are talking there is different from what we are talking in Greater Accra. So when politicians are talking, they know. But because we are in a capital where everything, all the noise is actually here, we all speak about these things. So this election, I am saying that people will be shocked about the outcome of this election. We will say this one is winning. Everybody will say this one is winning. Everybody says, look, in terms of performance, I would debate anybody on performance of this government. When it comes to education, when it comes to roads, when it comes to infrastructure, there's nobody government that has performed better than Akufo-Addo Bawumia government in any sector of the economy in this fourth republic. Nobody. Look, Lantam, when it comes to security, there's nobody that has produced infrastructure for our military and the police officers and other security agencies than Akufo-Addo. Accommodation. There's no government. In fact, the police, for the first time in the history of this country, they are using 3 helicopters. If you go to education, there's no government that has provided educational infrastructure than President Akufo-Addo. Look, health sector is the same. Sometimes I went to Tolong the last time. People sit in Accra and say, this government has not completed. I see them on TV. They say this government has not completed a single hospital, district hospital, and I laugh. I went to Tolong, everybody, the district hospital that was started and this government is there. In fact, this government started and completed more than 40 district hospitals. If everybody cares to know, just pick a manifesto of MPP, 2024 manifesto, and look at the hospitals that were started and completed, and you can send your people to all the locations and see whether those hospitals exist.
Right.
So we can say, and this campaign, look, the candidate of the MPP is not just sleeping in the guy, he's talking on. The man has taught over 270 constituencies, constituency. He has done campaign more than any candidate, any of those 30
candidates. At the NDC.
Massa. Look, I can tell you all the candidates, the constituencies they have visited. Some go to regions, they go and do 5 regions and they return to Accra. The next time, 5 constituencies, they go to a region, they do 5 constituencies, they return to Accra. Next time they go to another region, they do 4, 5, they return to Accra. The man goes to, Bawumia goes to every region, he completes the constituencies before he moves to another.
Every single constituency.
Every single constituency.
So that gives you confidence.
He is working on the ground. He's not somebody on social media typing that he's winning. No.
Okay.
And all his running mates is all over. His wife, they are all campaigning. This thing will be won on the ground. It is not on social media or posts. I have said it several times.
The people at the end of the day.
The people at the end of the day will decide who is a better candidate to lead this country.
All right, thank you.
And not any post or anything fanciful thing that people sit and think about. As for Shawasitinamu, everybody knows how he lives. Not to Abapa. And it will happen. Because I have said that your economy is not my economy. Your economy in Accra is not somebody's economy elsewhere.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So the real day will come.
Now let me come to you now.
When we talk about campaign, I think that the MPP have not been very generous to Dr. Bawumia at all. And Akufo-Addo has not been on the campaign trail. The NDC has
in a few places, the vice president is pressing. The president has to work.
I remember
this is his last term. He has to work.
I remember. Please let me. Please.
I spoke and you said we are not there to. President has to. President is not campaigning. Who told you it's not campaigning? The man has visited almost every region.
How do you just allow Nana to make
when Nana Akufo-Addo.
But where is their former president to campaign for? Then they don't even have a living to.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
I shouldn't go where?
It's okay.
You are saying president who is campaigning for vice president, say he's not campaigning. Look, what kind of argument is that?
I would talk about where is their former president to campaign for? He's not even He's even there. I'm just saying that's not.
I mean, like seriously.
Allow Nana Kwesi to
make
his point. And when you were making your point, Nana Kwesi was very quiet listening to you. So
when he made, you see, he was responding to me because when I spoke, he was so quiet, and when he spoke, I was also very quiet.
So Nana, make your
but
point.
Apparently,
I will do. Let's not drag this.
I should let him end so that I will respond to you.
Nana, I will respond to you. Your submission was in response to my submission.
Never. I didn't mention you. So when you finish,
I have mentioned.
No. So you talk.
No, I am saying that look, it has taken Samira Bawumia to be on a campaign tour for her husband. This is not how we know the politics to be. In fact, when Nana Akufo-Addo was contesting in 2016, there was sharp call consistently that President Akufo should get on the top. And he did. He campaigned strongly for Nana Akufo-Addo. You understand? And I am surprised. Even now, Dr. Bam, when he went and spent 15 days in Ashanti region, of course, because he knows that he definitely needs to get some votes from Ashanti region, otherwise this election is really gone. And there is strong apathy there. And President Akufo had to come and speak. You understand? The NDC has the chairman on one campaign tour. They have the vice presidential candidate on one campaign tour. They have the youth, the women's organizer on one campaign tour, the youth team on one campaign tour, the vice presidential candidate on one campaign tour. They have 5 campaign teams all over the place actively campaigning. The reverse is the case.
Hey.
You can only see the MPP campaign when you see Bawumia.
Hey.
And
Napo has also been.
Napo has torpedoed every campaign he has gone to. You and I know. Napo has torpedoed every campaign he has gone to. And it's become a problem. He's my friend. But the truth is that Napo's campaign, I don't know how they managed it like that. It was expected. Why would Napo is from Ashanti region, right? Why would Dr. Bawumia spend 15 days in Ashanti region? Napo is there. He's a people's man. He's supposed to be doing the job in Ashanti region. Why did Dr. Bawumia have to leave all the other regions and go and stay 15 days in Ashanti region? He should tell you a story.
Lantam.
And so, no, please.
But the Ashanti region is a major battle.
Yes, but what I am saying,
whoever makes inroads.
How many constituencies are in Ashanti region?
What I'm saying
47.
is that when
in the country,
when Napo was selected,
my goodness,
he was expected to bag Ashanti region.
You don't decide campaign strategy of MPP.
He was so expected to bag the region that nobody would expect that Bawumia will have to personally spend 15 days there. So you are talking about Napo also being on a campaign. I'm telling you the reason why I feel he torpedoed every campaign and the reason why Dr. Bawumia found it necessary to spend 15 days over there. But this is the point. This is the point. It is that whether you are in Ashanti region, Greater Accra, or in the north, Lambusi, the economy is hard. In fact, if you hear the campaign jingles of the MPP themselves, they start by saying these days things are hard, but almost all the jingles, maybe you don't listen. These days things are hard, but I like what the government is doing in health. These days things are hard, but they start with that. Look, why, if this government has been the best performing government in our history, and as Audu said, then why are they so busily distinguishing Bawumia from Akufo-Addo and the government? Why are they so busily justifying that he was only a driver's mate, that he is not being in charge, and that when he becomes in charge, things will be different?
But
why is he himself?
But is that not true? Is that
yes, but if the government have done well, look, Akufo-Addo, even he was Justice Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister, but he campaigned on the track record of the MPP and President Akufo-Addo and President Kufuor. But they have been very busy distinguishing Bawumia from the Akufo-Addo administration. He has been busy saying that, he was given limited role. He's been busy making sure that people no, look, why are you saying that? I'll kick all the taxes. I'll kick all the taxes. But and why did he have to say that? Well, if I do everything now, what will I do later? What will I do when I become president? The truth of the matter is that this government has been disappointing. And if you go to Ashanti region, and I don't sit in Accra, I'm also in Ashanti region. I came from Achimewisa yesterday. I got here at midnight. You understand? And I'm telling you, the government itself believes that they've been woeful. The people of Ghana know that the MPP has been awful. Their message is that, we've been awful, but Bawumia is a different person.
He's his own man.
Give him an opportunity. Not that they have performed so creditably that Ghanaians should let them continue this hardship that we are in. And so let us be clear about these things. Look, this election, without a doubt, will be won on December 7th. And I have told you, it won't go to a runoff. The MPP know that they can't leverage their track record. They are selling a new candidate. Fair enough. But he's part of the same stock. In fact, he's the second in command. And it is the reason why they will lose the election.
All right. I will do.
Because there's someone that has been corrected about Ashanti region.
IB.
Look, I'm surprised that I'm surprised that you went to rant on this
Everybody has
Ashanti
their
region
time
thing.
to speak, and when everybody
No, but
speaking,
when I speak, you
quiet.
interact.
I also do that.
To go free.
IB, please
you
make
said
your point.
Bawumia spent 15 in Ashanti. When you finish,
IB, please make your point.
Okay. I give him 1 minute
No,
for my time.
No.
IB, make the point.
Okay, it will come to my turn.
Okay.
Sometimes
because I feel we might not end this if it's with the back and forth, right? So basically, the two of them are all singing from the same hymn book.
We support just say it direct.
We are all singing from the same hymn book, one way or the other. Yesterday, I saw a story that was sent to us from the Western region, Joseph Kujo, the MP for Efia, who was asking the constituents not to vote based on their living conditions now, because he admits and he concedes that things are hard. And I'm not sure, for whatever that it is, you will not concede that there are some levels of difficulties as far as living conditions are concerned.
I have said that several times on this show.
And that one is not limited to Accra.
I've said that several times.
Because usually, let me tell you the link between Accra and Lambusi. The link between Accra and Lambusi is Audu, that if things are good for you here, you throw some coins to the people in Lambusi and they will enjoy. That's the link, and it's always been like that.
I think I don't know this link.
You
think I don't understand this link?
I know you understand.
You think I don't understand that when somebody is enjoying free senior high school, I don't understand. Like he mentioned me.
No, I get it. But I'm actually helping you. I'm actually helping you. So you get the point. The point I'm making is that the economy is interlinked one way or the other. So when things are difficult in the cities, chances are the repercussions are far-reaching. See, nobody in MPP, and I've engaged as many of them as possible, is oblivious of the fact that things are difficult. And like I said, you heard Joseph Kudio say that things are difficult today, but don't vote based on that. Vote based on other factors. It's a campaign messaging. If it works, home and dry. If it doesn't, and people say that, okay, we are voting based on how we feel today rather than what we have been promised tomorrow, the repercussions are equally there. Polls are important. They are guides. You can either take it and be complacent, or work on your weaknesses and work on your strength and consolidate your gains, right? The ultimate decider, and I've seen the comment to the effect that the dynamics for 2020 elections will not be the same as dynamics for 2024 elections. Yes, I'm a student of politics, but there are some dynamics that do not change. The dynamics of how difficult things will be for incumbent government after 2 terms will never change. The dynamics of how many enemies you've made after being in power for 8 years will never change. The dynamics of people who will sit on the fence because they feel they've not been satisfied will never change. And these are the general dynamics. But of course, when you look at the dynamics of the fact that now we have 2 sons of the North, that's a different dynamic. But you see, somebody will extrapolate and say that, no, we also had the son of the North on the other ticket, but just as a running mate. That is a counter dynamic. You get the point I'm making? See, go to Northeast. NDC was winning Northeast with ease, right? Until Bawumia came. MPP, since then, won Northeast. Go to the Northern region. NDC had a commanding number until Bawumia came. The numbers, in fact, when you go to parliamentary seats, it's 9-9. You get the point? Those dynamics existed in 2020. And they will exist today. As to how they play out, that's why we say that don't swallow hook, line, and sinker. In the US, people swallowed hook, line, and sinker. The elections were close. What did we witness? It was nowhere near closeness. That's the point.
Lantam.
All right. I will do. We'll need to move on to the next issue, but just
look,
just a few seconds. A few seconds to say what you need to say.
I may not even speak on the other issues. I may not.
Why may you not? Look, you may not, because we are here. The others also want to discuss the other issue, and we have determined the issues that we want to discuss. So please let us do that.
He said that this one I need to respond to about this Vice President Bawumia staying in Ashanti region for 15 days because there's this thing. Let's look. Since 2000, MPP has never performed in Ashanti below 70%. And that dynamic is also there. And let me also say that the man has done approximately 3 constituencies in a day, Dr. Bawumia. How many constituencies are in the Ashanti region? 47. Divide 47 by 3. How many days will you get? Over 15 days. So if the man has spent 15 days, it's in line with his campaign that he has been
I think you've made that point.
And this thing about some people are not campaigning. I am saying that this election, everybody is saying what he wants to see. Probably
I think you've made your
to hear what he wants to hear.
Thank you very much because of time. Let's go to the other dimension of the elections, which has got to do with all of these accusations and counter accusations, that the political parties are leveling against each other with regard to plans, so to speak, to rig the elections. Ibrahim, I'll begin with you, on this one. You saw the NDC press conference.
Yeah.
And then later on, you saw the MPP press conference led by Nana B and all of these issues of rigging and all of that.
Yes, and I'll be brief on this. If you followed politics for a while, you realize that these things are not different. Go to 2016 and listen to the press conferences and look at the messaging from the opposition and then the governing party. Just go back to 2020. Same. That culminated into the enactment of the Vigilantism and Related Offences Act in Parliament, which has been useless, to be honest with you, because it was supposed to even curb the menace of land guards. It has done next to nothing in that regard, right? So what the NDC did is just to put information out there that, hey, people in power, if this is what you are plotting, then we are aware, we know about what you are plotting, right? So don't do it. You heard a counter address from Nana B, also saying that, okay, so what the NDC is seeking to do is to disrupt the process in the Ashanti region, in a stronghold. And once that disruption takes place, then it means that people will be intimidated and they will not come out to vote. Again, it is just to send a message that we are ready, and do not attempt doing anything illegal in an attempt to disrupt the process. what is assuring and reassuring is what the security leadership, the hierarchy will say. I was at the media engagement, not entirely media engagement, but of course the CSOs visited the IGP at the police headquarters, and I was there. And I heard the IGP address these matters relative to election security. The IGP is the chairman of the Election Security Task Force.
Yeah.
And you have all the other security agencies coming under this. Now, the IGP talks about the fact that there will be de-escalation when the need be.
Yes.
The security will be ruthless when the need be
arises.
And so nobody should take the security of the country for granted come election day. See, I've sat here.
There's also a military man who says that if they are called in and they get there, they will beat you.
In fact, that the beating aspect quite unfortunate, because I found the military man, that's the commanding officer for the Atianse jungle warfare training ground. So
that's
Atianse
in the town that borders my hometown.
Oh, okay.
So if they are deployed, they will come to us first.
You see,
there waiting.
You see, but you see, so he spoke like somebody who gives training on warfare. So he spoke like he was on the battlefield. You heard what he said. He said, in his attempt to let people know that he doesn't belong to any of the political parties, he ended up being unpatriotic. He said he doesn't vote. You see, the last thing we want a military man to be telling us is the fact that he doesn't vote. No, we don't need that from you. We want people to exercise their civic responsibilities, right? So even if you don't vote, if you remember, there was a time that I think Charlotte Osei had mentioned that she doesn't vote, or Afarijan also saying that he doesn't vote as the umpire. And all of us took offense, and personally I took offense, that the fact that you are the electoral commissioner doesn't mean that don't vote. And even if you don't come and tell us. Just like the military man did. Aside that, the military man talk about the fact that
he's a Jehovah's Witness.
Yes, that one is there. But even there, we are encouraging them to vote. You see, we're encouraging them to vote. The SDA people are saying that they will not vote because elections will fall on Saturday. We are still encouraging them to vote and then go back to their maker and then probably plead with the maker to forgive them if it's that huge of a sin. Now, the man says the military will not be involved in this year's elections unless they are called upon by the police. And I think that is a good information. Why do I say that? We've sat here and talked about the 8 people that died in 2020. And up until now, we've not been able to find justice for them. Going to kill is sacrificing enough. Depriving yourself of sleep is sacrificing enough. Not going to your farm, it is too much of a sacrifice to just ensure that we get somebody to lead us. And on top of that, you lose your life. It's unthinkable. The biggest democracy in the world, as they call it, the US, they just went to the poll. Not even a fly was hurt. But they have a president that will take over very soon. There's no way anybody, no life should be lost just because we are going to give somebody's father employment for 4 years. We are going to give somebody's mother employment for 4 years. No. So if the military, and I've heard the IGP also say that no weapons will be allowed at polling stations. I think that must be extended to collation centers. No weapons must be allowed at collation centers. You know what wielding a weapon does to you? It gives you some sense of invincibility.
Yeah, a sense of I can do whatever I want.
All powerful. And so if care is not taken, you'll be overtaken by event, and before you realize you have discharged. And that's what happened in 2020. Reason why 8 people died. And so if we are rolling out measures to ensure that that doesn't happen, yes, for the politicians, see, they will talk and they will raise the temperature. They will. Because it's in their interest to do that because they think they are whipping up enthusiasm in their base. Now, Ashanti region, I've heard the comment about Ashanti region and we'll do this and we'll do that. See, you know what will happen? On election day, nothing will happen. If nothing gets into the ballot box, it won't be counted, right? If a ballot paper gets into the ballot box, it will be counted. And from there, the chain will go on until declaration. There's nothing you can do. Yes, the politicians will talk the way they are talking. But at the end of the day, we expect the security agencies to do the needful and then safeguard our peace.
Right. Now, Makwesi, let me come to you on this. Accusations, counter-accusations by these political parties.
Well, the claim that the NDC or the MPP is trying to rig the election emanates from the politicians themselves. Of course, I tell you, if you go to sleep, look, the NDC can tell me that if the MPP doesn't show up and they get opportunity to rig, they won't rig. They will. The NPP will rig the election if they have the opportunity. They have indicated it many times. You know, you hear comments in Ashanti region that, look, the people say they won't come and vote. If they don't vote, we'll vote for them. You will hear it. And, you know, when you go around, people will say, this year, you have to be careful. Don't allow people to rig the election. The election, they say it's something that is there. I feel that all these accusations and counter-accusations are unnecessary. Any serious political party wanting to take power will by now have taken its own measures to make sure the rigging doesn't happen. The concerns have been about, you know, the electoral commissioner being neutral. As for the political parties themselves, I am sure that they are all taking their own measures to make sure the other won't rig. And if you don't have, but of course, if you have an inside help with the electoral commission, that is an entirely different, you know, dynamic, and that is why there's been a lot of, you know, scrutiny about the work of the EC. I am happy because you see, the EC, the current EC, doesn't sit in a convenient position of trust because of the circumstances that brought her to power, and so there was underlying mistrust. As up to this point, I believe that all the issues, most of the issues that were raised by the NDC concerning the voter register and the serial numbers and all have been dealt with. So the vigilance has started from the electoral commission, and once you trickle that down to the polling station, there's a lot of voter education that is required about vigilance. The truth of the matter is that if you stand there and allow them to thumbprint more than one vote and put it in the box, it will be counted. And so you really want to be sure that your polling agents are watching and making sure that everybody is getting only one vote. And yes, in the past, there have been concerns about strongholds of the political parties, like for instance in the Ashanti region, that, you know, after 2 o'clock, after 3 o'clock, when the place dies down, and sometimes your polling agent gets up and says he's going to eat because nobody is coming. By the time they come, they have torn off their ballots and they put them inside. You want to make sure that the electoral commission, a person sitting there, is not one who is willing to tear up more than one sheet and give to somebody. And at all times, you have people sitting there watching. And you also want to make sure that there are no military and police people who are from one party who are willing to intimidate, you know, party agents to make sure that they, even when they have concerns, they can't raise them. And if you make sure all these things happen, then you're fine. You know, I am convinced that this election, even if there is desire to rig it, the Ghanaian people won't allow that. And this, more than any other election, should not come with controversies, because it has become very clear that the NDC won't go to Supreme Court if they lose the election and they feel that it has not been justifiably lost. And so it is incumbent on all of us as a people to make sure that whoever loses the election is clear in their minds that they lost square and fair. And so, well, I mean, these allegations and counter allegations will come. But when they come, the political parties, more than, you know, everybody, has a responsibility to make sure that you don't go asleep and allow the opponent to rig the election. And for as long as you are keeping vigil, you will be sure that the votes that were counted were your own votes. And that is just all you got. I am only hoping that calm heads will also prevail after the results has been announced, so that nobody will say, well, I mean, I have lost, but I don't agree, so I won't give up power. And you recall that in 2000, when the NDC lost the election, it took, even before the official announcement, it took Professor Mills to concede and then 10%, everything died down. So I'm only hoping that there will be an early concession, because of course you have your own machinery. Every party will do their own collation. And I am sure that by the morning of Sunday, 8 a.m., the political parties will know who has won what and who has lost what. And when they know, they must be candid enough to come and concede when they have to. So that we will maintain some peace and have a country to govern.
All right, Audu, let me come to you now on these, these issues that these political parties leveling accusations of rigging against each other.
There's so much fixation about Ashanti region. I don't know why. There's so much fixation about Ashanti. Why are we not talking about Volta region? Why are we not talking about Greater Accra? Why are we not talking about Northern region?
It's because of the population of the Ashanti region.
Why? Greater Accra has more voter population than Ashanti.
But it seems that whoever is able to make some inroads in the Ashanti region is able to win. Probably that's why. Probably. Or you don't agree?
In Ghana without winning Greater Accra anyway.
That's not true.
2020 changed.
That's not
2020
true.
That changed.
2020.
Yeah, but I would make the point.
That's not true. Look, sometimes, look, elections. Look, election dynamics of elections. I always say it are completely different. Look, you were talking about the two candidates coming from the north. That's true. You also have a candidate that has contested how many elections? 4 elections. And one that has not contested any election. That's also a dynamic. And we know what happens. About security, MPP and NDC will always trade these things when in any election about who is doing what, who is doing that. The best form of security for all Ghanaians is ourselves. We should protect ourselves. I have told my people in Sabonzongo, I was born in Sabonzongo in Accra here. I've told my people there, if any political party comes, MPP or NDC, comes to you to say that you should go and do something on election day, if you go there and you get shot, you are injured, I will never visit you at the hospital. I will not mind you. Because the people who are contesting to lead this country, none of their case will be on the street doing what they will ask you to do. They will not be at the police stations to do the useless and stupid things they will ask you to do. Some of them, their cases are outside. They are junketing, they are globetrotting across the country. And you sit here, somebody sits on TV, incite somebody that this is what we are going to do, and you take up to them and you lead, you follow them to do what is undesirable. If you do that, you are on your own. I have said that several times. Look, this election is a simple matter. On election day, you pick your voter ID, move to your polling station, queue. When it gets to your turn, you vote and walk away. If you want to observe counting after the election, there's always a distance that everybody comes to listen. You come, they will count 1, 2, 3, and everything is recorded. Your agents are there. They will look to your interest. If you take agents that cannot see your interest on election day, that's your matter. If after election you have lost, you have to concede, as everybody has agreed. You have to concede. So this is not about violence by somebody. It is not fight. We are not going to use guns at police stations. We are going to use our thumbprints and the 2 things you need is your ID card. These days, even with your ID card, you can vote. So what you need is your thumbprint.
Kokomoti power.
Kokomoti. And you go and decide who you want to lead this country. If whether parliamentary is at the constituency level, who you want to be your MP. If it is about presidents, who you want to lead this country. You exercise your franchise and walk away. Don't let any politician deceive you to do anything that would end your life or bring something to. I've said, look, if you are a political party worth your salt, after election, before you even get to the coalition center at the constituency level, we should have known your results. You have to know your results. If you are a political party, you collate your results before they get to the coalition center to even collate the constituency results. If you do that, you gather all the pink sheets in this country, and within you cannot add figures, like some people have refused to do over the years. Don't blame anybody when you lose. It is not about fight. It is not about arms. And I beg the security agencies, we all agree. Look, if somebody does something untoward, hold the person, put the person in the vehicle and take the person away from the polling center. We don't want disruptions in any part of this country on election day. Nobody should be allowed to disrupt people, decent people who want to queue and vote. If somebody goes to polling center and the person misbehaves, what you simply do, pick the person, put in your vehicle and take the person away for decent people to vote. Don't use guns. Don't use anything on anybody so that we'll get what we don't want. It is about coalition centers. I agree with you on this matter. Political parties have representatives at all coalition centers, from constituency level to the regional level and to the national level. And if you elect your people to ensure that even common addition, they cannot do it for you, what is the mass of the people you are asking to go to coalition center do? The people are not going to enter the room to do additions. So when you sit on radio and say that your party is being wrecked at the coalition center, so people should mass up at this, and what are you doing? You are inciting violence. That's what all political parties must avoid. Let your people get trusted people to be at the coalition center to ensure that the votes that you have earned are well collated so that you get what you have. Don't let people mass up at coalition and say that people are cheating. If they are cheating, can they even get to the center to collate the results? What is this massing up? Anytime we sit on radio, and journalists are part of the problem. All these things are announced on radio. That people are massing up. Hey, some parties cheating us. Go to center, mass up. And when they go, you know what some people do? Some carry cutlasses. Some carry stones,
all
and you go. I have told you here, my father was an ex-serviceman, was a military officer. What they don't want is for a civilian to challenge them. You go there, you want to dare military when they are there. Don't do that. Let's save ourselves from this. Let's tell politicians that if Dr. Mahmoud Baumia wants this thing, he should let his kids go there. If John Dramani Mahama wants people to go and do it, let his children go and do that, not anybody's children. You can't pick anybody to go and do for you. And now the people who sit on radio, some have young kids. Their kids are always in their rooms. Some do not even have kids yet. And they sit on radio and say that military people are doing this, police are doing this to create confusion. What are we doing to ourselves as a country? Let those people who are doing that, I want to see any of them on election day. If there is any violence, let me see them at the forefront of the violence. If they don't do that, you see, the person you are pushing to go and create violence, they are shortening your lives. You may end up being dead. I had the unfortunate incident at this Ablekuma Central. The young man who died. There's somebody who entered police. It's because of gun. He left. He left police service. And unfortunately, it was a gun that killed him. There's somebody. The person was just holding his phone, and he had a stray bullet. Why should this happen?
We should guard against
massing up at polling centers. Look,
all right.
So that is what will keep the peace of this country. Don't let politicians push you to do anything. Let they themselves go and do it if they want to.
All right. We have just about 10 minutes to wrap up. So let's spend that time talking about what's been happening with the expired rice, in quotes, or should I say rice which has a different, or which has been consumed beyond its best before date. I think we know the genesis of this from Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, who blew the whistle on this, and the FDA have come with the explanations. They fined the company 100,000. They okayed the rice for consumption, so it was distributed to the senior high schools, and there are still quite a number of questions which are arising as a result of the action of the FDA. Nana Kwesi, on this one, I'll begin with you.
That story is bizarre, isn't it? I don't see whatever. I mean, I've heard that. Look, the rice has expired. Put it simply.
They said it hadn't expired.
It had expired.
It had a best before date.
Best before
is different expired. From expired.
The expiry date.
That's the explanation.
Best before. Look, when you go and buy milk and the best before date has come, will you eat it? FDA, when they go to the market and best before products are there, don't they seize them? Why if it's best before and if nothing is wrong, why do you seize them? Why don't you allow them on the shelves? We know best before is expiring. All right, so you have rice that are expired. The FDA itself in Ashanti region went and saw the people rebagging the rice. Then they seized them. They said that it was unwholesome, and then they
even arrested some people.
They arrested them. You gave a fine. Then you say that you took the rice to India. You FDA, you took the rice to India to go and test whether it could be eaten, and you took some to your own lab too, and you found that the rice was wholesome. Then why didn't you take some home and go and eat? You went and gave them to students. I mean, of course, they gave it to bumper stock, eventually ended up in schools. I don't know why. I mean, if it's rice, it has expired, destroy it. But because some business owner has money and wants to, by all means, make money out of the product which has expired, then you come and tell us that you went and you extended the best before date. So now, okay, so the best before date, the extension also arose. Now they should extend it again. I mean, the story doesn't make sense, and it is more pathetic because the product ended up with children, our children in schools.
Well, they said no child was fed expired rice.
Well, how do you say no child was fed? Look, I won't be surprised if today some of that rice is still being fed to children because they haven't recorded it, and you cannot guarantee that every bag that went out has been already consumed before the best before extended best before date, and you haven't recorded the product. So it's a concern. You have serial numbers. Look, FDA, this is not difficult work. They have the serial numbers. They have, if they want to track it, they will. And what we expect them to be doing now, instead of doing I'll call it propaganda that they're doing, is to go after the rest of that product and recall everything. Put out the name and serial number, everything, and recall it. Eat humble pie.
Well, name and serial number, well, we don't know. They were put in different bags.
I expect that if the FDA extended the best before date and they were rebagged and approved, then they will have fresh serial numbers. They will have fresh date and names. You understand? That is the only way the FDA would have approved for it to go back into the market. So something has gone wrong, and Mimi Delise is my very good friend. She's a very lovely woman, and for all you know, this might not have happened under her direct supervision. I know her personally, and she's quite principled. But FDA is quite a big institution, and some of these could go without her direct supervision. But clearly, this is something they have to step in quickly, recall everything, and apologize. And if there are any persons who have been affected, we see how to what extent we can help. It's a very bizarre story, to put it mildly.
Audu.
Yes.
Expired rice to senior high schools. Even if the FDA say it was not expired, the question that a lot of people are asking is, I mean, once the initial best before date has been arrived at, we should just discard it. Why are we looking to, extend the date and test it, and risking all of, all of these things?
I am not a scientist, but every food I see best before and is it?
Where you see best before, that beyond the best before.
I know it's expired. Sometimes they tell you that it may not be too good some few days to even expiration. So I don't know. This one is quite bizarre, but I think what we need to do is to investigate this matter, serious investigation. Let's look at which schools did this food, if it actually went to senior high schools, which schools were affected. Let's look at those schools and see the people involved. Already we know the company that imported the items, and this thing. I think we need serious investigation to this matter.
I think the Government Assurances Committee has said they'll look into it.
The lifespan of a food item that has expired can be reconfigured to be wholesome. I don't know. I'm not saying. Maybe we inject some chemicals into it. I don't know.
But they didn't inject any chemicals into it.
I don't know.
But they said that, the best before usually, some of the explanations we've heard is that when it says best before,
yes,
it means any time beyond that best before date, it can probably still be consumed, but maybe the taste may change, the nutritional value will reduce. These are some of the explanations.
So why do we destroy things when they expire? Why do we do that?
They say expire there, it means it has spoiled. But best before means
now different for expiration. Best before different.
Technically, that's what we are being told. That best before is different for expiration. That's what the FDA is telling us.
Okay, I don't know. That's why I'm saying I'm not a scientist.
So from best before, you come to good before. Good, better, best.
So you
go before bad.
No, you go to good, bad, and worse. So they are saying that it is bad. We have not gotten to bad
before and the worst before.
We have not gotten to the worst.
No, we've not gotten to
have we gotten to the bad? If it is bad, why take bad things? Look, I think it doesn't look good. I hope that not many people have been fed. If they have been fed, not many people.
Well, this happened in 2003.
2023.
Yeah. So it's happened, and nobody got wind of it until Okudzoto Ablakwa blew the whistle on it.
The man has blown many whistles, but some are not actually. But I think that we should go into the matter. Look, never again should we have this. Look, we cannot say that something has best before or expired, and we say that we have to check the lifespan and all that. I have not heard this before. But as I said, I'm not a scientist. But we need to investigate to ensure that and get the people who are involved in this, get them punished. Look, we cannot continue. We cannot do this again. If food. That's why we always say that if we were producing enough in this country, I have said that most of the food items, including the chicken that we import, some are stored outside there for years. Then they ship them to us. So if we are able to produce enough to feed ourselves, all these things will not be happening. And the local rice, I think we are very soon we'll be producing local rice ourselves enough.
We should,
very soon. I know some companies are.
You know the funny thing is that
No, what I mean it is not enough. It is not enough to feed.
Lantam, the funny thing is that
we'll soon produce enough.
The story was
at least over 50% of our.
The story was that when they were rebagging the rice, they were rebagging them as local rice.
Yes,
but that should be criminal.
That's criminal. That's why people were arrested.
That should be.
And there was a fine of 100,000. We are told by
$100,000.
100,000 cedis by the FDA.
So imported rice
to pay.
But that's small.
Imported rice gets spoiled and becomes local rice. Why?
That's criminal.
I tell you.
Sort of almost.
In fact, if it is 100 MPA,
insinuate that local rice tastes some way and for it, so that when they taste it some way, people don't say that.
People come and say local
rice is not nice. Meanwhile, I've told you about some local rice for northern region that is so delicious and so nutritious. And then we should do more. Look, the few small that we are producing in this country, let's consume it so that the people will have money to produce more.
All right.
We are not eating local rice that we are producing. Some of you here like perfume rice.
They like basmati rice.
When I hear that name, I get annoyed. So let's eat local rice.
We took as a nation, we took an economic decision rather than a scientific decision, right? Because we had
rather than a scientific one. But the FDA was involved in this. That's why the science comes.
I will zero it down to the FDA. But for now, the FDA didn't supply the product to the senior high schools. The FDA, first of all, somebody alerted the FDA to the illegal activities going on. The FDA got in and got to know that.
You say it's in Ashanti?
The product went to Ashanti and other places, not just limited to Ashanti. But
it was being bagged in Ashanti.
Yes.
When the Ashanti FDA that first stepped in.
Exactly. Okay. So when that happened, they got in and realized that, the thing is bigger than we thought. We had many sacks in stock. That's where the economic decision came in. And then so they were meant to be supplied to the buffer stock to be given to the students. And so somebody then said, should we allow all these to go to waste?
That's the
point, you see, because under no circumstances must anybody feed from anything that has its best before date passing. as basic. See, the manufacturer knew why best before is labeled as 1st December, 2nd January, that. And when it's even a product in a can or a tin, it's dangerous.
Yes.
Because when the best before date reaches, then it becomes contaminated.
Yeah.
Because there's a reaction between if it's milk, there's a reaction between the milk and then the container. Right? So if the FDA doesn't take care with what it has done, it will then reinforce the perception of people that, if it expired and it's just 1 week, you can still consume it. It's not helping anybody. Unfortunately, the FDA has given government a very terrible
rice. If you see rice and your rice has best before,
it means you can.
And there's 1 week after, you can still eat it.
You get it. That's not that's not the narrative.
But that's what the FDA has.
I'm sure that's what they are saying.
Oh no, they are defending it. They are defending it. The FDA is defending it.
It's curious.
That's what the NDC. That's what the FDA is saying. Let me.
That's what they are saying.
The FDA is defending it.
But the explanation people are giving,
it gives a green light. That it tested it and realized that it still holds some. You can still
they took it to India.
Even after the best before.
We took the product to India.
To India to go to a lab in India to go and check, and it was also, and they took it to their lab also in Ghana. And both results came that the rice was wholesome.
Yeah, it can be consumed even though the best before date had passed. Right?
Yeah. Maybe the manufacturer made a mistake.
And then that one came to only Ghana. You see, it's typical of what we consume here on the continent. Even electronic gadgets.
I told you, baller.
Yes. Even electronic gadgets.
The chicken that is
I mentioned the chicken. Some are stored years.
The chicken.
You see, they have a standard. Yes, they have a standard for the European market. See, and let's zoom in and talk about products from even China. The Apple product that you use, many of them are manufactured in China. But if they are for the European market or they are for the US market, the quality is very high. If they are for you and I, our market, the quality is because you and I cannot, they assume that we cannot afford to buy the high standard or high end product, right? So when they are manufacturing their own product for the European market,
even they themselves, they use the European, they use the quality ones in China.
Because even radiation frequencies and all of that, Europe, they won't allow.
So what the FDA has just done is the reason why we are where we are. They are not even helping our cause. See, like I said, back to where I was. We took an economic decision. Thankfully, we've not heard that anybody developed any health condition yet.
Yeah,
as a result of
not heard
it's about a year now. I hear April 2023.
If some of them are still in circulation, we beg the FDA.
They should withdraw.
They should recall them, right? And then offer an apology, because the FDA has not just hurt us or our children. You see, you know that there are some rich people sitting home and they are wondering, so our children consumed that? They did. But you didn't have a say, right? FDA has given government a very terrible PR. Very terrible PR. In fact, we spoke to Kwesi Kwarteng, who then mentioned that there will be an investigation. Then later he realized that no, it went to the FDA, investigations were done. In fact, the people were even arrested initially. And then they were released. Kwesi Kwarteng is the spokesperson for the Ministry of Education.
I thought, for a minute, I thought you were talking about
Kwesi Kwarteng. And then it turns out that the FDA gave government green light to supply these products. You can't explain this away, regardless of how many jargons and how many tests you did. This must never happen again. Best before is best before. We are not a second-class citizen to anybody. For us to be consuming things that are not meant. Sometimes you are even told that don't even feed it to animals. You know that your pet that you live with, your banku that you eat and consume, you are not supposed to feed that banku to the pet. They have their own food because their stomach and the way it's formatted, their digestive system is not the same as yours. So you are abusing your pet by giving the pet the food you eat. That too, the animal lovers will tell you that. The veterinarians will tell you that. How much more are we saying that? Even though the best before date has expired, we should still consume this food because it was tested and it is also.
Lantam, this is the point too. It's not like government imported rice and was government plenty and
it was a private company.
Did this. It's a private man who is doing business.
Yes.
You understand? So all of this, we went through this trouble to line up the pocket of a private man. I mean, I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense.
But what the FDA boss, he's a serious CEO.
But he's right that she might not have known about it.
She might not have known about it.
I wonder because that lady is quite straight.
I sat on the
She
board
may have
with her
known, but
Standards
she
Authority. She's a very
may
wonderful
have
woman.
not been in direct control.
There's
of what
quality
happened in the
control
aftermath.
unit,
Yes.
which has a head.
These are
There is
different.
standard.
That's
because-
why I'm saying that we need to look
Yes,
into
would have
them.
gone
Because in her
Because she's a
defense,
serious
because
woman,
in
no?
her defense, when her team in the Ashanti region moved in and chanced on it, they stopped it.
Yes.
Okay.
They stopped it.
Yes.
They arrested
So
the
at
individuals.
what point
So somewhere along the line,
who instructed
Obviously,
that?
we
the
understand there were
businessman
some
must
calls that came and people were released and what have you. So I probably at that time it had left her.
Yeah.
So I mean we don't know. But
Because the lady is a serious lady.
Yeah.
Mimi.
Oh yeah, no, Mimi. Mimi is good. Mimi.
I said that.
See,
I know her
principle.
personally.
See,
She's very
I will personally not even hold Mimi responsible for this. See, this is too basic. That's how come the unit in the Ashanti region
yes.
took it up. And then the body in charge of standard and quality control obviously has a head. Mimi will not take this sample and take it to India. That's not her job.
no.
That's not her job.
Yes.
So there are people, there are officials
But
in there
let's
who
find out
felt this.
Because there's more to be looked into in this matter.
Yes.
Government
But never
assurances
against you. Look,
government assurances committee have said that they are going to
Incidentally, the man
into this further.
he's a chairman.
yes, Okujo
I just
Tablakwa is
hope
the
that-
chairman
It
of the
doesn't
government
become like-
assurances
I
committee.
just feel like just because
No, but Charlie, that committee might sit, but Parliament is not sitting anytime. How do you know that Parliament has actually packed everything from the Grand Arena? They packed the chairs and everything.
So then this Parliament will sit.
So we are not sitting anytime soon. Probably until after.
Anyway,
the
we have to wrap up
it's
now.
obvious.
Yeah,
Even
it's
your-
Now we have to wrap up now. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Even this man's national
Audu
chairman
Mahama.
said they should not come.
Nana Kwesi Boete. How is why has he told he's a card bearer member of the
He's an
NDC?
NDC man.
Have
Why?
he told you that?
Why?
Nana Kwesi Boete.
I have vouched this election.
Yes.
That
Don't say this
I will make
election.
sure that the MPP gets the deserving defeat that they deserve for
have
all the
vowed.
hardship.
You have
all
one
the
vote,
hardship
my
they
brother.
visited.
Okay,
on
You
us.
have one vote.
Okay.
The man you are condemning has.
Very well. Ibrahim Ahasa too. Thank you very much. Stay tuned. This is GH Today. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. You're still watching GH Today here on GHOne TV, and our next conversation is going to get all the cake and sweets lovers excited. Yeah, we're going to get excited. Even I am excited right now, just at the thought of it. And my guest in the studio, I know she's also excited. Very, 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 very excited about what we're discussing today. The Danish Foods Sweet Experience 2.
Right.
Part 2, right?
Part 2.
Yeah. Tell us all about that. All about that.
Okay, so the Danish Food Sweet Experience Part 2.
No, but before, of course, they need to know who you are. Catherine,
yes,
KTG.
Yes. You're correct.
Yeah, is here in the studio.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
What's up?
Oh, so the Cake Fair is proudly bringing you the Danish Food Sweet Experience 2. Danish Foods has decided to be our titled sponsor a second time, and it's going to be much bigger and better than before. We're having it in a bigger venue, and we're having more interesting features, a lot of more interesting segments throughout the event, and people are going to really have an amazing time.
What was it like the first time? I was there the first time.
At Fiesta Royale?
Yeah, Fiesta Royale.
You were there?
I think I was, yeah, if I remember correctly.
Well, the first time, we filled the building to full capacity. I mean, it was overflowing. It got to a point where they were kicking out our guests, and the whole place shut down. They were even turning the lights on us. And so we're even now forbidden from going to Fiesta Royale to have any events.
Mm-hmm. But this time around, what are the new features and, all these other new things that are being added, to make this a very great show for everyone who comes through? Okay,
so let me ask you a quick question. Do you like to have wine?
I like to have wine.
Do you drink wine?
It depends on the kind of wine.
Okay, what is your favorite kind of wine?
It depends. I use the taste to determine it.
So you don't like white or red? You like white or red wine?
Maybe red.
Okay, so when you come to the Danish Food Sweet Experience, we will have a cake and wine pairing, or wine and cake pairing.
Wine and cake pairing.
Yes. So we'll have specific cakes that would be baked by Danish Chef School.
Okay.
And then we would have KWV wines providing wines, different assorted types of wines, to pair with the cakes, specific cakes. Because I guess red wine goes with dark chocolate cake. So imagine pairing those two together and then getting that aroma, that taste. I'm sure you're wondering how it tastes like right now.
Wine and chocolates with cake, that's a wicked combination.
So, I mean, for people that are more fun and, more outgoing, come and booze at the cake fair.
So we understand that there are going to be, competitions, cake competitions and all of that.
Yes, we have cakes to give out. We also have 2 huge, I think it's 50 kg sacks of flour from Takrade Flour Mill.
Okay.
And we're giving it out to different bakers or upcoming bakers that will participate in the competition to win some of that. We're also giving out some bottles of wine, that would be within the competition. You would win a bottle.
Right.
Also, we're having baking competitions. So who can decorate the cake fast enough? Who can bake a cake fast enough? These kind of competitions. And then also the cakewalk.
The cakewalk?
Yes.
What's that?
It's kind of like musical chairs. So we'll set up numbers in a circle. And if you are able to be part of the list, you'll jump in the line, get on a number. When the music starts playing, everyone has to walk around the circle, one by one by one. When the music stops, we pick a number out of the hat. And if you're standing on that number, you win a prize.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
That's something that I'll definitely like to do. So count me in on that one.
That's right.
And so apart from, the cakes and all of that, which other, vendors will be available or will be around on the day?
Okay, so we have cake accessories. So if you're an upcoming baker or you have you're inquisitive about baking, come. Cake accessories will show you how to use like a baking pan or how to accessorize your cake.
Right.
We'll have like a perfect bakers. and they specialize in banana cake. You know, we'll also have, who else will, we'll have Muday's catering services.
Right.
She makes different varieties of cakes, different flavors. So let's say you're looking for a wedding cake. Come to the cake fair, you'll get a wedding cake at a discounted price, you know, and they'll also give you samples of cakes that you would want to use to create your wedding cake.
All right. So, what about, you know, a banking and business class? We understand that there's going to be a banking and business class.
Yes.
Somewhere within all of this.
Yes. So we have a wonderful food scientist. Her name is Dr. Juanita Lewis from the States.
Right.
And she's coming to teach bakers the science behind the ingredients of baking. So what does flour do in your cakes? What does salt do? How do you combine it to make the perfect cake? Also, she'll teach you how to price your cake, because you'll get all these ingredients, but you won't know how to price your cake as an upcoming baker. You know, you don't want to get cheated. Then at the same time, you don't want to overprice your clients.
Right.
So how do I price my cake? And she'll be there to teach you how to do that.
Right. So anyone who is interested in, you know, being a part of this, how do they do that? How do they get, for those who want to be vendors and for those who just want to come and attend and enjoy it?
Okay, so if you want to be a vendor, I mean, time is going, but if you want to be a vendor at the last minute, call me on 055-358-3269. That's 055-358-3269. Now, let's say that you want to come as a guest. There's a gate fee. The gate fee is it's on a short code. You dial 713*33*912#. That's 713*33*912#. Only 28 Ghana cedis. You come in, you get access to all these things: free sampling, free wine tasting, free classes, free games, free competitions, and more.
And you could even win a nice prize.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll look forward to it.
Yes.
And when is it happening?
So it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Oh, wow.
At Elisa Hotel Northridge.
Ah.
And they have a brand new pavilion. So when you go into Elisa Hotel Northridge, you walk to the back, and that's where it'll be. And also, I want to let people know that even though it's a cake and desserts fair, we will also have food. So you can be there all day and still get, you know, amphiseer or jollof and chicken or wache. So come, you know.
Yeah, come one, come all is what they say.
Exactly.
Right? All right, KTG, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
For joining us in the studio and telling us about the Danish Foods Sweet Experience 2.
That's right.
Yeah. So there you have it. Make sure that you are there tomorrow. It's a weekend. It will be a nice time to, you know, spend time with your family at this cake fair. And I bet you're going to love every single bit of it. Stay tuned. You're still watching GH Today. We'll be right back.
Omuba unso mba be the whole Ashanti region there pirates. Ya kwa hospital near Chieska. Ya hochi ya papa. Enti sama fa we ya ntumu hofo. Na samo sa koto aba mo musa ba bie mu dia. Mo se free SHS no. So obi abekọ ni free Ashanti region there mo nka ho. Enti ya bom pa se na
na mama John
na mahama on cancer. No musa meto aso maye.
John mahama on cancer be cancel free SHS.
Tamo ni atamo se ba no mama. Omu ba no man ka se health insurance no mu betwa mu. But omu ba ni ehu de koye. Omu ba ehu de koye.
Na se enti no ewom say umani ko free education o ma enjoy na say enye free education nkoa na eye the deciding factor nti a obeto aba na
free education na chi no ye o ha say na COVID-19 baaye month dodo say na adwumafo etena fie enso na do tue adwumani bi aka ya da light mu free ensuo ya bu ni free awa ha say
okay na mu constituency ha. Since 1996, NPP na matu abama no. Die na mu betimi di akire say NPP aban no omo ayade amamo.
Die ama metumi aka ne say tam eyo konfa no chi heya. Se obi prakra na se den kon ma na den. O man panyinfo baaye e no de emergency baaye. Ohun se ya kwan nyina ya kama ukon kurase a odi aduane firi oba nya den se so ba bantwe aduane abu because of say ya kwan ye. Entimeso dia media chi ama me toma ba no de nti na wo pese wo sa toma mo asanso boache why bi papa adwumawura akwan ahodra papa ya maye ye ni boni anyankopɔ betua ye ka adwumawura why bi papa adwumawura ye ba chewo yo me ka san kwachi make a sound quality. Oshim heya mame sensuo to na se adwadifu wa ha se no mo dwon kwan be fa so mo be kofie ena kohwe bridge aye no ha ma wo mu wo ha na nsuo to pese oyem hihyi ubiem yo papa ne de wa bo adwuma nkasa
yo yeda say madam yeda say next person
Bant me dwon for ba omia Mede Monica Usubuadi in the MPP obi ani mama one me dia chire sa na ya na me to sa sie ti dia na menya na nsia na me ka chire ewie school asanteman na me koy na me fa cham si teacher me pa cho say na me moa me ho e bia chire no na nsem bi o say madam one person akro obi ka so beju bia one person ensure kra headmaster ne say money yiri nton bi mayai no obi aka say oba school mo obe to nsio e ma ya jiniska me ba ya ko free okode da bia okwa ne keska eno oba na gari asa shan bag me sia de o sia de mo dani ho no mpa gari am busy to awie gari ne ba fi asa be hunadi am say na dia abani no ma ye media free wanya bia ba fia wo be hunadi fatu de kom do pa no hunadi papa ye dia ye se jo mama o ma ye policy mianu pe ana ye challenge no so famre wo ka se wo se nkokon ketenkete discotheque
da bena jomama ka discotheque
what can the policies no what can discotheque 24-hour economy one chemu nchira ye
nti o pay 24-hour economy
one chemu obi say hospital 24 hours omo ye adwuma edada ejom ha ye betima 24 hours mamu betima 24 hours what do you mean? What are you talking about? See, I met 24 hours. Never ni akuruma didi. Never ni awuya manage. 24 hours. Yen to me. Enya se adwuma no.
Madam.
Papa, on kwetire no nsamra.
Jamahama o say. Enyoma we a waka nyina. Yo, ensusu economy ne nye.
Economy. Madam. madam enti ye be ko ye chibie mana first na ne ye mimi ko school na sika de so wo mpa ne efra no 1 me refi 1 peso ne ye de ma mi ko school en na ye betimi akwa ama wa ma ba 1 cedi so mfa ko school de no mu ka chen emre ne ko nanim na sika ne ko nanim na brabo ko nanim na nyoma ko nanim yen sa ye chi o yen plin sa ye chi da obi o pesa wa chi bia no wo so da kra na wo she school atade ye so abrabo as ti si ye sa ye chi si e kwa na edo how na ebre ye port no wo mu nko no sika no maji akogu baby no o mu nko tuama wo mu ne emie ma ye ye bia ni free a enyoma bebu wo man mu no obi a ho aton but me don't for ba omia.
And you know, we've been joined by the Member of Parliament for Bantama constituency, Honorable Asenso Boache. Mepacho, you're welcome to to Voters Connect. It's good to have you. So I've been talking to your constituents. They seem to be very, very happy with the work that you have done and what you have been doing for the constituents here. But just like I asked the last speaker, the NPP has been ruling this constituency since its formation, since 1996. What are the tangible things that you have to show?
What do you think? I say MPP has been ruling the constituency
at the parliamentary level.
Okay, so this constituency has been voting for MPP.
But it's an MPP stronghold.
Exactly, it is. It is because mami mo mohano. Omunim say MPP ba. Ena ye twade ena me boana ena ye story ena say MPP politics ye de ba no eno na eboa se bi ehiafo so what I say e ma me ba akoma ka national health insurance e me bi atwam o ko hospital na so nkuta sika ne ahwan e president Kufu aban MPP aban ena ba ye obetwa cash and carry free or and a man get the national health insurance buy. President Kufu buy the free maternal care. So we are paying for this or hospitals or what? Yes, I buy free and I'm a boy. Or baby or baby are benefiting from free maternal care. You graham go school. Sometimes I'm quite a common duomo. President Kufu they introduce you school feeding program and then Krakow school. I'm going to lunch do school. President is yen hwe na na Akufo do bae obi e ka free SHS no ebutai mienu ene tachi die di kan no ye maame mo ye nyina agi tum se efie bebre mu ye maame na hwe nkra ana me boa ene free SHS nti ye maame obekasa Malika mbodi wose ni ho ato no okọ school ye prospectus man no okase ye be giliska headmaster ka chese e free Sesika no o de be shadi na dwumam ama na dwumam koso sesi ameka say free SHS buy afibia additional 100,000 students now awofo ni bia enu nti no mutimi ko school no afibia 100,000 additional students e ko school na what teacher on mine na say 100,000 kids entimi ko school e ko secondary school na o man na akwa na buy get to sumienu akrabia obetimi akọ school no akọwie SS no se ko ba se won to aso kra na di biode nsabeso esanse wanya nimdie wotimi twiro wotimi kenkan ni ti no do ye bia obetimi de ayeye eti se ye we nyama wo na NDC fo ba na ye hu di omo ye no ha so far ye busa NDC fo say since 92 omonka policy social program oma yama Ghana for e dey assess ya braba omontimi ntabi enu ntina Bantama for to Obama MPP what's your NPP na woso a enya so mfaso na sesia Dr. Baumia e kan say do no so dey ba be boa mo amudi dwano ene say ye be ye women empowerment fund for traders ama obey fund bia ye be yisika e dey ahyebu dwetwe okay enti MPP there your policy bia de bebe bia no ehiafo do na be benefit ena enkura no edachi Ghana adachi ɛno na MPP ɛdwen ho.
Okay, but Mr. Sensobuache.
Na opeso hu se be so ya na ubusa within the past 8 years Akufo Dubai Bantama hanko yanya 3 police stations NDC bar 8 years no would be ade ba ko NDC 8 years no me no Bantama o manya bibia ye kwan na Akufo Ado na ba ye kwan nyina bai Astrotef nko ye wo 4 constituency and then cry pon school no me home work we are either so mo akoba na so mo krebo won ko ye o fa no go she bibi boni bi okono boni bo we are obafi akodware wa bi wa kan book na wada so that say na say che bia na ye be library state of the art library and kwano kwa and computer center kwano kwa am ko sua de kama so that say there are places where Bantama ha na schools ni ho and as a result na running trap high street high way in Omko school na Akufo Ado buy me be MP they see bia ma omo they are so happy sa nyoma we nyina NDC wo so a ye hu bi o constituency ha etino wo so omo bosso omo president na Akufo Ado Dr. Bawumia e wa ase obi nkum na kokko bi de kwa so what I say etino out of there ya krado say last 4 years enya 89% afi we say Bantama for aye krado say about 95% over constituency.
Okay, yo better say hold on for me, let me go back to your constituents.
Question me busa mahama say a teacher for 12 fie extra de fie mienu ni fie miensa na yare bia mai oso betua bosume miensa scan away enti the American says Akufo Ado am ebu nsuo afimu the whole nation ya sunlight afimu a teacher for 12 fie afi otua omka sika no sika no mfa nkotua Akufo Ado kan say seni obehwe manipa wudie what is kind of a share amany panning economy dear a say obitima in nipa de wu a wontimi na hwe mumusa mahama mam say sa teacher for na if you Ghana ha nyina omkira de mfie miensa a otuom ka bosumi miensa sense kind of way.
All right, you're welcome back to the show. We're playing you Voters Connect live from the Bantama constituency, and my colleague Sewami here was in Kumasi in the Bantama constituency, and of course you saw her there engaging the constituents and engaging the member of parliament for that constituency. The NDC parliamentary candidate was there as well, and we'll bring you a full playback of that episode of Voters Connect subsequently here on GHOne television. But we have another conversation coming up here on the show. If you're one who loves beauty pageants, obviously you know about the Miss Malika beauty pageant, arguably the most prestigious beauty pageant that we have here in the country. And the beauty queens are here in the studio. We're very excited to have them here in the studio because they are brightening up the set with their beauty. And so we're excited about that. We want to talk to them, have a conversation with them about, the journey of their, of the Miss Malika competition. And of course, now that they are second runner-up, first runner-up, and winner of Miss Malika, what's next? And so they are here in the studio. The winner for Miss Malika, the beauty queen herself, is here. Lucille, good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's great to have you here in the studio.
Thank you
How
so
does it
much.
feel to be Miss Malika?
Like I keep saying, it's so surreal. It's almost as if it hasn't happened, but I'm so happy, of course.
You're
I'm
still
ecstatic.
soaking it in.
Yes, it's still like, it's loading. The feeling is loading.
Yeah.
Definitely. So everyone's saying, congratulations, I'm so happy for you. And I'm happy too, but it's like an out-of-body experience. It's yet to sink in fully. That's, wow, I actually won the crown. But it feels amazing.
Did you see it coming?
Say again?
Did you see it coming?
I wouldn't say I saw it coming. I would say I had hope. But like I keep saying, all the girls were amazing.
Yeah.
They are amazing. And the competition was extremely tight. So I never thought that, yes, I'm 100% taking the crown, because anything could have happened. And I did not want to count my chickens before they hatched.
What was the mindset that you went into the competition with?
Honestly,
did
it
you
was
go
just-
in that, I'm going to see if I can win, or did you go in, I'm going to win this thing?
Of course, I was gunning for the crown. I mean, you have to enter the competition gunning for the crown. And my strategy was just to be my best self and to leave it all and not to have any regrets. Just to do my best, essentially. And I did that, and it paid off for me, so I'm grateful.
Of course, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Also in the studio is first runner-up, Marie. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm happy. I'm blessed. I'm very well. Yeah, I'm still in shock, I think.
Still in shock. Being the first runner-up. Same question. Did you expect, you're still in shock, right?
Yes.
She's saying it's a very surreal experience, right?
It's
and I was asking if she was expecting it. Were you expecting to get where you got to?
As she said, you can't go into a competition not aiming for the best. So, yes, I was looking forward to also wearing her crown.
Yeah.
But I mean, here we are. This is really not bad. I feel very lucky to be part of like the top 3. It's been amazing, and I feel like whatever we are fighting for, whatever we are targeting at, we are right there, like we are right there. So it still feels as surreal as she's saying.
Interesting stuff. And of course, Sharice is here in the studio. Sharice is second runner-up. And what about you? Of course, you've heard your colleagues speak to the questions that I put to them.
Well, for me, it feels good. It feels amazing. I have soaked that in already because I feel
have you come to terms with the fact that you are second runner-up? Have you settled into it?
Yeah, I've settled into it, and I'm ready to start with my project already. I feel like there's not much time for me. I have a lot to do the coming year, so I can't give myself like an entire month to soak that in. I've already soaked it in, and I'm ready to kickstart with my project. But even though I've soaked it in, I feel like I need a vacation to release the stress. And then
it was stressful, eh?
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of hard work, and it has all paid off. It has paid off for all of us. Yeah, so I do need a vacation, and I think my queens too do. Yeah.
Okay. To whom it may concern, there's beauty queens need a vacation, so you should start, preparing for it. Where do you want to go? To whom it may concern, who is watching right now? Where the Maldives, eh?
I don't mind an Arabian tour, though.
Okay, interesting. Right, so you were talking about your project, right? So as a beauty queen, definitely after the competition, there's something that you need to do. What is yours?
I'm embarking on a project themed empowering young girls through technical and vocational education and training.
Right.
I've targeted young girls who are unable to continue their tertiary education due to financial constraints. It's a very distasteful scene to see, and this is very rampant in the Upper West, Upper East, in the Savannah, in the Volta, and then Central regions.
Right.
So I've targeted these 5 regions. I plan on going on touring these regions, collaborating with the Commission on Technical and Vocational Education and Training.
Right.
And I've sent a proposal to the UN CSW, United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, hoping that they collaborate with me to in this journey. And I plan on providing makeup classes, lash classes, nails, catering services, culinary arts, carpentry, like something small. I took a scented candles class, and it has helped me. I started a business from it. It has helped me through the journey of Miss Malika. So I believe that if I help young girls with these things, they can support themselves. Because after all, I think TVET is the fundamental unit for economic progress. So I think every young girl should have something doing with their hands.
Right.
That's
Brilliant
basically
stuff.
my
Brilliant
project.
stuff. And I look forward to seeing you working on this, because
so
it's really
much.
important, to help all of these young girls who don't have the opportunity, to get into tertiary education to do so. What about you, Maurice? What's your project, Marie?
Yes.
Sorry.
So mine is looking at femcare, feminine reproductive health issues, their care, their awareness, and all that. As a feminist, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of girls in our society working hard, doing well for themselves. But if their reproductive health is failing them, how can they do that? So I want to help them get proper reproductive health care. They should know about it. I mean, sometimes even among ourselves, if we are having some conversation about this issue, it's like people don't know about it. So I want to voice it out, teach them about it, so that they will know how to properly like take care of that. And sometimes because of the stigma, it's very difficult for them to like come out to talk about it or seek for help. So we are creating like a safe space for them to do that. Yeah, that's what we are focusing on.
I mean, that's great stuff as well. And of course, in that regard, you know, there's been a conversation about, you know, governments subsidizing or removing taxes on, you know, sanitary products for girls and all of that. Is that also something that you're looking at, advocating for that?
Yeah, I'm actually working on that too, because I've already started going to schools, giving out like free sanitary pads and all that, because especially in the rural areas, if you're not comfortable enough during that time of the month, you can't give like productive outcomes. So yes, it's also part, and we are seeking and still fighting for the tax to be taken out.
That's also another brilliant project that you're working on, and I'm happy about that. Let's come to the queen of the moment herself, Lucille. What's your project? That's Miss Malika.
So,
what are you doing?
The plan is to help change the perception people have of children who have autism and Down syndrome, because they're currently marginalized, they're isolated, sometimes they're even ridiculed, and that's something that angers me a lot. So I want to help change the perception people have by not only spending time with them, but showing them that, you know, they're worthy of love. So in a nutshell, that's my project.
Children with autism and Down syndrome. You know, there are all of these myths and misconceptions about children who are suffering from these conditions.
Yes, and it's about time that we change that, because they're human beings worthy of love and respect, just like we are. So, yes.
Have you started doing any work in that regard?
So I'm gathering a lot of information. I want to start, I'm a perfectionist, so I want to start on a good note, because once I start, the ball is rolling, and I don't want to start and then have to like take a break or anything like that. So I need to make sure I'm ready, prepared. So I'm gathering resources, information to be able to start properly in the new year.
All right.
Yes.
Brilliant stuff, and I love all the projects that all of you are embarking on. We can wish you nothing but the very best, and we want to see the success of each and every single project and see you make the impact that you can use the platform that you've been offered to make. So we really look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lucille, Marie, and Cherise, right?
Yeah.
The Miss Malika Queens. Unfortunately, we have to end the conversation here. We didn't have too much time, and so I'm pretty sure you'll see them here at another time, perhaps in the middle of their projects, and they'll give us a progress report on how all of that is going and the impact that they are making. But ladies, thank you very much once again for joining us here in the studio. And there's still more to come here on GH today. There are a few birthday wishes that we need to get out of the way. So let's start with this one. This one says, happy birthday to Daniel Sowate Ajay. Today So those are our birthday wishes for today. We've got another conversation coming up, and well, this is a very interesting conversation. If you're someone who likes gaming a lot, this is something that you should pay attention to. My guest in the studio today, Mr. Kwesi Hayford, is here. Mr. Kwesi Hayford is president of Esports Association Ghana. Mr. Hayford, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Great
too.
to have you in the studio. Doreen Dabi Diamond, right?
Yes.
Is also here in the studio from Play Province.
Yeah.
You're the team manager for Play Province.
Yes,
so Play Province is what? Is an esports team.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, so you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm going to allow you guys to do this. So yeah, because so first of all, tell us why you're here. Tell us why it's important for everyone this morning to be watching you in the studio right now.
Okay, so esports is an emerging industry in Ghana and also in Africa, and especially globally.
Yeah.
So there is a big move and partnership that has happened recently with the Play Province. Corporate Ghana is beginning to see the trend in the industry, and they are partnering. And this morning we are here to give our voices and create more awareness to what the esports industry has to offer, not only for brand recognition, but also for youth development in the country.
Right. So when we say esports, right, what are we talking about here? Just so that people are sure what we're talking about. When you say esports, what comes to people's mind? Is it EA Sports? It's in the game? What are we talking about? We're talking about Mortal Kombat, or we're talking
It's all part and parcel of it.
Call of Duty, What are we talking about when we say esports?
So we have video gaming. So you play games on your console, your PS5, or on your mobile phone or your PC. That's video gaming. Now, when a group of people meet to compete together for a prize or a prize pool, that's where you get the esports aspect of it, a competitive gaming side of it. So we are here promoting esports as an avenue for job creation for the youth, economic development. I mean, that's the bigger picture that we are trying to push. So that's basically what esports is. People come together, they compete in all genre of games, from soccer, FIFA.
Yeah, FIFA.
Now
that's a famous one.
It's called EAFC.
Yeah, now EAFC. Yeah.
There's basketball, NBA 2K.
Yeah.
There's Mortal Kombat. There's PC games like Valorant, League of Legends. So many game titles. Call of Duty. I'm a PUBG fan, so that's the battle. But there's Call of Duty, PC, console, and mobile. And these esports competition have brought up esports teams. So I represent Play Province, which is one of the, not even one of the best esports team in Ghana right now. And we are doing amazing things. We have an amazing Call of Duty mobile team that is set to represent Ghana at the CarryFest tournaments. That's happening in Kenya. Yes. Yes. So that's how far esports is taking us. We are sending our esports athletes outside of the country to represent Ghana on various platforms, and it's been amazing so far.
Of course, it is. And I mean, what more do we need to know, about this collaboration and this milestone? I mean, Ghana is sending our own esports team out there to really go and represent. So it means we're making some inroads.
Yes, very, very. I mean, corporate Ghana, for this particular occasion, Samsung Ghana with their Galaxy phone came on board to support the Ghana team, or the Play Province team representing Ghana at the CarryFest African Championship. So the whole overview is to make sure that we give brands the opportunity to see the pivot to where they can build brand loyalty with the youth, as well as also brand recognition within this special space. Africa is yet to awaken to the esports. When we talk about esports, we talk about electronic sports. So everything you can
competitively.
Competitive. You can take everything with sports and add the E
to it.
But the good thing about esports is that it relies on technology. So digital literacy, everything within that space encompasses it, and it's the sports of the future because you're combining entertainment, entrepreneurship, and empowerment of the youth.
I mean, and in the era of virtual reality, very soon, we'll be actually
definitely
getting into an era where you may not have to use your controller anymore. You just
there is taekwondo.
I mean, yeah, there is that, but it's not very, but with, I'm envisaging where you can actually get into a virtual reality soccer pitch.
Yeah.
And then you are playing soccer yourself inside the game and all of that. But anyway, I'm getting carried away.
Well, one of the biggest component of esports, even for FC24, we call it the pro clubs, which is 11 versus 11, which every single individual or character in the game is represented by one
person.
So in view of what you were saying, in the near future we'll have one person wearing a VR in this room, and he can play that 11 versus 11 sports and activity. And that is what esports is really pushing.
Yeah, kind of like what happened in the movie Ready Player One, but anyway. So let's I mean, we have to wrap this up. So let me get a final word from you and a final word from you.
So we thank tech giants Samsung Ghana for partnering with Play Province, sponsoring our team to represent them. I mean, strategic partnerships like this one is what is carrying esports forward, and we want to encourage corporate Ghana, come on board, support esports. Big companies are doing it outside of the world. In Dubai, in Saudi Arabia, and all that. We want that. We don't want to wait for the wind to blow before we jump in. Let's jump in now. So big ups to Samsung for partnering with Play Province, and we hoping to deliver the best.
All right. Final word.
Well, it's a wake-up call to corporate Ghana to really look into the space of esports as an avenue for one social intervention project for youth in Ghana, and also brand recognition. And as I said, the Play Province is one big team, but there are several other esports teams that need support across the board. And we as an esports association is there to be able to help your brand to position itself in the esports space.
All right.
Not only locally, but also internationally.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us in the studio, Mr. Kwesi Hayford. He's the president of the Esports Association Ghana, and of course, representing Play Province it's Doreen Darby Diamond, who's the team manager for Play Province. Still stay tuned into GH Today. We'll be right back. interested in the studio with me is Ba the artist, right? Ba the artist. I can even tell that you're an artist with with what you're wearing. It looks like some Picasso was painted by Picasso, kind of thing. So Ba, you are. What kind of art do you know? There are different forms of art, right? What kind of art do you do?
So basically, I do almost all the art, not all, but then I think I operate in 4. We'll say.
Okay.
So I do pencil art, I do watercolor, I do mural paintings, like the graffiti paintings and all, and then I think pencil too as well. Yeah.
Pencil art,
watercolor, acrylic, graffiti, painting. That's murals. Yeah.
So how did all of this start for you? Did it start from when you were
young?
Did you have an interest?
I think it got to a time I wanted to do. How do we call it? Write a book. That was I think last 2 years or something. So I decided to do some research, ask my parents and all that as to how they realized that I had the ability to draw. So I think my mom did tell me that anytime I go to school and they give me assignment, nursery, like crèche, KG kind of, they give me assignment. I always do the scribble, start with my book. I don't do the homework, and they have to beat me. But I noticed it in class 6 when I was in class 6. That's why I realized that people were coming to me. Can you draw for me? I was like, it looks like you stand out, and I took it from there.
I see. And has it been fulfilling? Being an artist, being able to do all of these beautiful paintings, drawings. Because I've seen that you've done some drawings for some pretty prominent people, very, very beautiful portraits. Is it fulfilling, and does it pay? To be an artist in these parts.
It pays. I think getting to this in this era, I think it pays. When I started art, I think it was not really something that even my parents wanted me to do, and family were like, "Oh, the art's go ahead,
And that's the perception that a lot of people have.
So I think it's two ways: your passion first, then with time I think you can sacrifice for it, and your sacrifice will always pay off. So when you invest in whatever you have, when people see the value in you, they'll come for you. So I think it depends on the artist and how they brand themselves and the investment they've made in themselves.
And you've been able to do that very well for yourself.
For now, I'll say it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. As compared to first, I used to cry. I was like, God, when?
But it's picking up.
Yeah,
it's paying off, and do people have an appreciation? Do you see that people, in Ghana have an appreciation for good works of art?
It was not like that before, but now it is, because now you cannot take art out. You cannot take art out. It looks like weddings, events, birthdays, and all that. People need something creative to add up to, to spice up their program. And also now it looks like arts. You can't ignore it. You need it. You need it. So you definitely come for it.
Yeah. I would love to have a portrait of me painted. I see that you have your.
I was about to shock you
small, but we don't, because we don't have time. I was looking, but we'll have to do this again, right?
Yes, sure.
But for those who would want to see your work, who would want to interact with you, who would want you to even do work for them, how do they find you? How do they contact you?
I'm on all social media platforms, so Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Ba the artist.
Ba the artist.
BAAHTHEARTIST.
So it's like Ba the artist, one word, across all of the social media platforms. So on Facebook, Instagram,
TikTok. Sure.
Do you have a YouTube page?
I do have, but you see, YouTube is very stubborn. It takes a lot of heart to push it. So basically, that's it.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we have to wrap up now, but we will definitely have you here again.
Okay.
The time we have you here, you have to come with a very big canvas.
Sure,
because you are going to do a portrait of me and my crew and everybody. You do a portrait.
But I think there's how do you call it? There's a project I'm embarking on. I'm honoring the fathers.
Okay.
So
tell us about that.
So honoring the fathers is basically me trying to send a message to the Christian fathers. The Duncan Williams, the Sudanaba, and the rest, to tell them that we love them, we appreciate them. Looking at how the people are always bashing and insulting and choose to accuse them instead of at least appreciating the sacrifice they made, the foundation they've laid. I want to stand for that and do that. So for now, I'm done with 4 pieces for painting. So I go to the streets and
You
every
paint
week
it.
I paint.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do a
you
mural, a
paint
very
a
big
mural.
one, 8 by 8 feet. I think it's almost like your ball.
Yeah, very
8 by-
big one,
8 by 8 feet.
of one of these prominent figures.
Sure.
Yeah, so this is one of them that you're doing.
Yeah, this Ajinasari.
This is for Ajinasari.
This is Ajinasari. I
Right.
did a lot of them. So people should follow me and also support. I mean, it's capital intensive, and so we need support to do it. And if people can reach out, I think I have a flyer, or they follow me on Facebook. The numbers are there. The numbers are there. They should just reach out and then try to push. It's a good work, and I think everybody should help push it.
All right. Thank you very much, Band the Artist. And we'll have you here again. So the next time you're coming, get ready. You'll be painting.
I'll be coming.
You coming. All right, Ba. We're grateful to have you. So on this note, we're wrapping up the show. We're wrapping up GH Today here on GH1 Television. Thank you very much for staying tuned. We'll be back again next week, Monday to Friday, from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. here on GH1 Television. My name is Lantam Papanko. Have a